Lullulas, howdy. If you don't know me, I'm LULULASSO, and we're gonna be watching Warhammer lore videos. Ooh, We're gonna be watching every single Warhammer 40k faction explained by Bricky. Yay! Yay, 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 yay. Okay.
As someone who doesn't necessarily serve the Omnissiah, but someone who can appreciate them,
Who?
you will not be getting my legs
The
today,
Messiah.
I'll be replacing them with various things depending on which faction we are currently talking about to add a little bit more context and possible comedy to whatever the hell I am currently doing. So, hello everybody, my name is Bricky, and this is going to be a long video and a large project that has been going on for quite some time. This is
scaled properly.
This is
Why are
every
you like
single
this?
Warhammer 40k race
There
in
we go.
kind of a nutshell, explained, a little bit of explanation, a little bit of lore, a little bit
Ooh,
of
that one's
talking about
cool.
the tabletop, mostly lore, what they're all about, and also a little bit of background for those of you who just have no clue what Warhammer 40,000 is.
I don't know. I know what Total Warhammer is. I played Total Warhammer a few weeks ago.
Plenty of, but don't know a whole lot about.
We played as the Yuri clan.
Power armor with chainsaw swords, and they got these big old green orcs, and there's some bugs over there, and everyone calls these guys weebs. And then there's these spiky bitches over here, and I don't get it. I don't understand. Where do I start? Well, this video is...
The what? Okay. I played Total Warhammer for the first time ever in my life. I decided to go the hardcore route and play the worst Total Warhammer game. Anyways, apparently someone came up to me in my meet and greet, and they were like wearing a Warhammer cosplay. And then I said I played Total Warhammer 3, and they were like, why would you do that? Why would you do that to yourself? Thank you for gifting 10 memberships, Rabu. What the? Rad and cowboy. Okay, I'll turn the audio up. They were like, why would you do that to yourself? Why would you play like the worst one? I was like, I don't know. People are telling me to play the third one. And it was, okay, it was not that bad. Demon Dog Raid? Wait, is this, hi. Hi! Hi, Mizuki! Okay, yes, Mizuki.
Particularly for you, or for those of you who have a little bit of knowledge, but kind of curious about each of the different races and factions in Warhammer. So overall, the Warhammer universe is vast.
Oh my goodness.
When it comes to lore and
There's so
background,
many
and each different faction is so different with the things that they believe in, and some are human, some are
I know the Space
transhuman, like where
Marines.
they all have all these crazy ass electronics on them. You've got aliens, and you've got the
Those are like the Brotherhood.
factions, and there's so much to entail
Ew.
that I decided to embark on this project to tell you what each and every single one of them is about, and what the Warhammer universe is about.
Let me ring the cowbell. Yeah! Okay, hold on. You're going up. You're as loud as you can be. I think this video is just quiet.
To give at least a little bit of an intro to this extremely bloated but very, very enjoyable world that I and many others partake in. So, I will be explaining every single faction in the Warhammer 40k universe, at least all the factions you can play as, and some smaller factions here and there. I will not be discussing absolutely everything in it because that is a little bit much, and I'm not going to go too mega deep into the lore. I'm going to give you a pretty solid overview of each of the different factions and have you learn a little bit about them, and we'll discuss a little bit of the tabletop as well in case you were curious about that. But for this episode entirely, we are discussing the Imperium of Man because that takes up a fat chunk of Warhammer
Imperium of Man.
What is Warhammer 40,000? Well, the 40,000 starts off is the year 40,000, the 41st millennium. That's where it takes place, is in the year 40,000, 41,000 AD. You're already more knowledgeable.
Wow.
Let me read you a quote, first of many quotes
they still
in
go
this
by
video. It is the 41st millennium. For more than 100 years, the Emperor has sat immobile on the golden throne of Earth. He is the master of mankind by the will of the gods, and master of 1,000,000 worlds by the might of his inexhaustible armies. He is a rotting carcass, writhing invisibly with power from the dark age of technology. He is the carrion lord of the Imperium, for whom 1,000 souls are sacrificed every day so that he may never truly die. To be a man in such times is to be amongst untold billions. It is to live in the cruelest and most bloody regime imaginable. These are the tales.
So are they like... is this humanism? Like, do they like worship him, but like he's not God? They worship man.
Of those times. Forget the power of technology and science, for so much has been forgotten, never to be relearned. Forget the promise of progress and understanding, for in the grim, dark future, there is only war. There is no peace amongst the stars, only an eternity of carnage and slaughter, and the laughter of thirsting gods. Everything blows.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a
fucking hard.
A little depressing.
Warhammer is probably the most dark and depressing universes ever in fiction, or at least like top 3. Everything is so absurdly horrible, destructive, or overpowered that it all kind of ends up canceling itself out. It's like,
hey, at least it's entertaining.
War rages across the galaxy. Interstellar travel is only possible due to sacrificing 1,000 souls a day to a rotting carcass of a man who you believe to be your god. Demonic gods and just demons tear open the fabric of reality on a whim. Other Xenos or even other humans end up killing each other in untold billions across the galaxy. It is a time of unending war.
Hold on. If you're killing each other every single day, thousands a day, how many people is there? And how are you gonna, like, stop humanity or your clan from dying out? You're gonna have to repopulate. Billions per planet? Okay, that's not enough still. So, do they just... do they... Anyways, never mind.
Slaughter and a bloodbath amongst everybody.
Let's not think too much about
Planets
that.
are deemed unrecoverable and are completely destroyed on a whim. Everything sucks, but that's like the charm of it. See, everything in Warhammer is evil, but being...
Sorry for pausing so much. So what is the average age for like a soldier? Like, are they really young or really old, or it doesn't matter?
Evil is kind of fun. Like, humanity in its own right is a xenophobic, prejudice, and religious zealot group that kill each other just as much as they kill all of their enemies. And they're like mid to high tier evil on the evil scale of Warhammer. Nobody is good. No matter who you are, everyone is some flavor, some color of evil. Whoever you pick, you
Warhammer,
are going to be
right?
the bad guy. But that's the fun of it. Because being the bad guy is badass. Villains are cool. They look cool, they got cool outfits, they got cool weapons, they got cool armies. Villains are cool, man. And when
Villain songs are the best songs. That is all.
everyone is a villain, everyone is pretty cool. That's what makes this so charming, is that everyone can be the bad guy. So let's start off talking about the main bad guy, quote unquote, the Imperium of Man.
His hair, whack. His beard, whack.
The Imperium of Man is the main empire of the human race. All of humanity is under this one flag called the Imperium. And about 10,000 years ago, there was a man. He was the emperor of mankind, a 10-foot tall psychic demigod who led humanity across the stars to colonize tons and tons of worlds, create superhuman soldiers, and really bring humanity into a new age. This man, the
That's a
Emperor of
beautiful man.
Mankind, was a psyker. And a psyker is like a magician of sorts. In the world of 40K, there is the warp, the immaterium, kind of like hell, but sort of like a purgatory dimension of hell. And a psyker is someone who can take that power and manifest it through their mind to use it to do stuff, like witchcraft stuff, magician stuff, spells, and lots of other things, but we don't want to get too into that.
Witchcraft.
The Emperor, big boy psyker. Top tier, A+, maybe even S.
long
Now the
flowing
Emperor
hair.
created a bunch of suns. Yes,
Wait, is that-
created a
never
bunch
mind.
of suns known as the Primarchs. He created 20.
That guy looks like Lotor.
18 Primarchs to have them lead all of the different legions of humanity to the different stars and plans to help colonize and bring it out. These Primarchs are basically like little versions of the Emperor.
Ooh,
Not
I
all
like
of them are
the
psychers, but a lot of
dragon
them are very, very
mallet.
powerful, and they lead his special Space Marine legions. Then this
think that's
big
what that is. I don't know.
clusterfuck happened called the Horus
Whoa.
Heresy, where the Emperor's favorite son, the Primarch, Horus, ended up joining Chaos and leading 9 of the 18, half of his Primarchs directly to Earth to fight down the Emperor himself. Now, if you want to know what Chaos is, remember what I mentioned earlier? The warp, that immaterium, the hellish place?
Question.
In there.
Should I say this? The Emperor is like their god, right? Or was this before their god was made? Yeah. Maybe this is an allegory to when Satan convinced all the angels to try and fight the Emperor or God or whatever, and it's the Emperor, so like God is the Emperor. Anyways,
Relies the 4 chaos gods. Imagine like Satan and 3 other Satans.
Oh my
The warp
goodness!
being kind of evil, those chaos
just brought
gods,
up
that's
Satan.
the reason. And so those chaos gods manipulated Horus, and then Horus helped manipulate all 8 other Primarchs to lead this
knew
giant
it! I knew
coup
it.
directly on the Emperor on Earth. And they fucked up shit. After this huge civil war, Horus died, but not before brutally wounding the Emperor. And right at the end of his life, they put the Emperor on this large golden throne
I'm a
on Earth,
genius.
in which he is now alive, just barely, but slowly rotting away, powering something called the Astronomicon, so long as he stays alive, and is fed 1,000 people a day. The Astronomicon is like the North Star. If you want to do interstellar travel in 40K, you need to pass through that demonic warp I mentioned earlier. But how do you know where you're going? Well, the Emperor is there putting a nice little navigator right there. He helps navigate you to know where you're going. If you want to go from Earth to some crazy solar system across the way, you need to go through that warp, and then you need to know where you're going, go through there, and pop your way out. It's like doing nether
Woo!
travel in
Minecraft.
Minecraft, so you can shorten the distance between going to
This is a
areas.
perfect
So long as
explanation
the
for me.
Emperor is alive and being fed 1,000 people a day to stay alive, you can do that. The moment he dies, interstellar travel's gone for all of humanity.
can he feel that? Or is he actually dead? Like, is he just in endless suffering? That would be pretty bad.
You're so boned.
I
Now,
wouldn't
since
wanna
the
be that
Horus
guy.
Heresy 10,000 years ago, the Imperium has fallen from grace substantially. All technology has started to dwindle and die. There is now giant
it's a coma.
fundamental
Okay, that's
religious
fine.
extremists that now believe the Emperor of Mankind was a deity, a true living god, which is probably the last thing the Emperor would have wanted to be remembered for. So now you have this thing called the Ecclesiarchy, which is this giant church entirely devoted to spreading the good word of the Emperor. He is now the holy
my God,
Emperor
so he's
God,
just
the
God.
God Emperor of mankind, and all of the Imperium has taken
Oh my,
up
they look like,
worshiping him to the fullest extent and
priests.
killing anything that isn't humanity in his name.
Like
The
Catholic
Imperium
priests.
has this futuristic gothic tone to it,
Like the
and a
Pope.
hefty religious zealotry to them. If you think anything against the Emperor, that's heresy and you deserve to die. That is called being a heretic.
Oh, okay.
Heretics die in 40K. There is no such thing as freedom of religion. There is no such thing as freedom of speech, so long as you are against the Emperor. There is no such thing as any kind of tolerance. Everyone is a religious zealot. Some more than others, but no matter what, you're preaching that good word. So right now, everyone in humanity is trying to expand their empire across the stars. If you are a heretic, someone who doesn't believe in the Emperor, you are deserving of death. If you believe in the Chaos Gods, you are also a heretic and you deserve death. If you are an alien race of any kind, you are a filthy Xenos and you deserve death as well.
Oh,
so
okay.
long as the murder continues and
Oh my
humanity...
goodness, thank you, Wivery, for gifting 20 memberships. What the? Thank you. I'm gonna ring the cowbell for a long time. Thank you. Thank you, Wivery.
expands, the Imperium of Man is very, very happy. However, the largest fighting force of this Imperium is my personal favorite faction, and the first faction we will discuss, the Astra Militarum, or...
So humanity is basically what happens when you let the order of religion take over, like, the whole world, I guess. So, yeah. Seems about right.
or also known as the Imperial Guard.
Pretty shit now, man. You finished? That's it, man. Game over, man.
The Imperial Guard is the main fighting force of the Imperium, and in a world of horrifying creatures, galactic monstrosities, the literal
like
demons
Valkyrie.
themselves breaking through the fabric of time to kill you, the Imperial Guard are...
Thank you for the super chat. To be fair, nearly every Xenos race wants us dead, tortured, or think we are inferior. Except the Tau, but that's the Tau.
untold billions
Okay, got it.
of regular men and women wearing modern day like
How
flak
are we not
armor
extinct
with a
yet?
laser rifle. This is the humble las gun, the main weapon of the Imperial Guard. It fires superheated plasma lasers at an extremely fast fire rate. It is reliable,
Kinda look
never
like Doom
jams. It can blow off limbs, giant holes in concrete. It is overall an extremely devastating weapon in modern day. It is one of the weakest in the 40k universe. Yeah, a laser rifle that never jams, it could blow off limbs, one of the weakest weapons. That's the world we're in right now. But who cares? Because the Imperial Guard has, in each battle, 500,000 of these men and women. 30,000 large armored tanks,
Okay, that's a lot.
10,000 artillery batteries. The Imperial Guard wins through sheer numbers and firepower.
Molly! Hi! I'm learning about Warhammer. Yay!
They kind of have this World War I, World War II style aesthetic with
Yeah.
legions of guardsmen as well as high company commanders and generals
can
on the
tell.
field along with them, and multiple kinds of troops. A normal Imperial Guard battle
It's
starts
still
off
burned in their
with
minds.
artillery, long lines of artillery, cracking the crust of the planet underneath the enemy's feet. And as this barrage continues, hundreds of thousands of guardsmen, a sea of guardsmen surges
Wait, the pistols fire mini nukes. Okay, yeah, this is humanity.
forward, firing and charging at everything possible while the planet rumbles as tanks roll up behind them. Gunships block out the sun and tanks block out the dirt with the steps and hoof prints of millions of guards. It is through numbers and sheer sundering firepower. They are the first and last line of defense for the Imperium and make up a huge bulk of the battles. The Imperial Guard is
This
also
is
made
America.
up of tons of different kinds of regiments. The Catachin jungle fighters live in a death
Whoa.
world that's more hospitable than almost any firefight they'll ever get into.
Jumanji.
So they just have this steroid-looking, giant knife, Rambo Predator-looking sons of
Rambo.
bitches, where nothing is anywhere near as scary as a simple night on their home planet. You have the Valhallan Winter Soldiers who haven't felt their
Oh my
toes
goodness,
in
it's
300
Yuri.
years.
But
The
not really.
Mordian Iron Guard, who are more interested in making their shoes shine than actually fighting a battle. And then, of course, the big one, the Cadians from Cadia. The biggest export of guardsmen in the entirety of the Imperium. You will fire
Cadia.
your first gun at 5. You will disassemble and reassemble it at 10. You will have pounding artillery drills day in and day out at 15. And you'll fight your first
Space
swarm lord at
French.
16. And if you mention Cadia, you
Oh,
will
16,
burst
okay.
into an unrelenting amount of tears and sadness, like I do.
So they
daily.
probably
To
live
quote,
till 16,
I
right?
have at my command an entire battle group of the Imperial Guard. 50 regiments, including specialized drop troops, stealthers, mechanized formations, armored companies, combat engineers, and mobile artillery. Over 500,000 fighting men and 30,000 tanks and
500,000?
artillery pieces are mine to command. Emperor, show mercy to the fool that stands against me, for I shall not. The Imperial Guard are my
There's so many of them that you could just use them as human meat shields, right? And I guess it wouldn't matter.
personal favorite faction in 40K. They're the army I collect the most, the ones I enjoy playing the most, and the one I enjoy.
Oh my goodness, I didn't even think about that. You're right. Yeah, because there's so many people, right? And then you run out of food. You're definitely eating each other. Because they probably don't value human life. So they probably eat each other too.
In the lore sense a lot. There's something about just a regular man with a laser rifle being told to charge the horrors of this universe and willingly doing so for his god emperor. It's just poetic. They actually represent the main Imperial Guard tactics pretty well. Large amounts of artillery that doesn't require a line of sight, lots of tanks, tons of infantry, drop troops, and gunships. Overall, they're pretty similar to how they sound, though a little bit expensive to collect, unfortunately. And they don't hit a lot. They have a bit of a bad aim, but you don't really care because you're just drowning them in shots. However, if you want more accurate fire and specialization, we can...
Thank you for the super chat. You are correct. It's called corpse starch. Okay. Wait, so where do they just eat each other? Is that where they get their food? Because I don't know, the planet looks like there isn't much space for farms and livestock and...
move on to talk about Space Marines. The Angels of Death are up next. Space Marines are genetically engineered super soldiers and superhumans. They're given extra organs, their skin tissue is toughened, their bones are stronger,
get water
they're
from the
taller
dead
than
too?
the average person. They're pretty massive people, and these are the specialized
guys look cool.
super soldiers that carry out a lot of the more specific tasks for the Imperium, and there's tons of legions of them. In fact, there's one per Primarch. Each Primarch, the Emperor's son, as I mentioned before, oversees their legion of Space Marines. The genetic upgrade they get...
Does any faction here have pink armor? If so, I want to join them.
It is based on the genes of said Primarch. It's something called a gene seed. That's what brings them up to this like superhuman level. As stated, each Primarch has their own legion. Robot Girly Man has the Ultramarines. Jagatai Khan has the White Scars. Rogel Dorn has the Imperial Fists. Corvus Corax has the Raven Guard. And there's a whole bunch of other
Raven
side
Guard's
sections that are
cool,
also
too.
extremely interesting and have a little bit more of a twist on the average Space Marines, which we will discuss in a bit. Humorously enough, I don't have a whole lot to say about Space Marines. They're superhumanly fast. In fact, it's been said that nothing that large should move that quick. These men in...
Is it pastel pink? Or is it hot pink and purple? If it's hot pink, I mean, maybe. If it's like a, okay, if it's a mix between hot pink and purple, I don't know. Anyways.
Power armor moving at blazing fast speeds. Their reflexes
If
are
it's more
faster, their skin is
purple-
tougher. They are overall just
I mean,
extremely powerful
worse than
soldiers.
nothing, right?
In fact, where they differ comes down to which Space Marine Legion we're talking about. For instance, the Ultramarines done by Robot Gilliman are the main blue boys. Strong in almost every way, the jack of all trades kind of group that
I
are a
like
little bit too
their
strong, and
crest.
that's a lore problem, but the White Scars by Jagatai Khan are all about speed freaks, go fast. We're talking attack bikes, we're talking land speeders. You want to go in quick, you want to hit them hard, you want them to be swarming around like buzzflies. Buzzsaws. With the speed of buzzsaw.
Oh my goodness, I forgot that I can't see my Twitch activity feed. Hold on. I'm gonna have to fix that if I've missed people. My Twitch activity feed is not working. I forgot. Let me fix you. Sorry for pausing, guys. I just need to check real quick. Hammy, thank you for resubscribing. And I think that's the only one I missed. Gonna ring the cowbell for that one. Yeah! Forget them? No, I need to. I just need to check. I don't know why it just decided to stop working on me for some reason. Anyways, let me unpause it real quick for you. Ah.
Fuck you, Pale King. Salamanders love fire. Fire in the forge, fire in battle. Flamers, melta-guns, multi-meltas. Just so long as something can be burning, that's big. And they're also actually some of the nicest of the Space Marines. A lot of Space Marines have this kind of like holier-than-thou thing because of their genetic strength. However, the Salamanders tend to put human lives above the lives of themselves, which is actually rather rare.
That's so
They're also
cute.
all black. But not like just
That's so
regular
cute.
black, like 2 a.m.
Wait, I like
line at a
them.
White Castle. Black. Like they have a charcoal, dark, ashy exterior and
I like them.
blazing red eyes. Apparently something about living on their home planet of Nocturne, which I don't know if that makes much sense, but who
That's
cares?
so
This is like
sweet.
fantasy land anyway. Overall, Salamanders are actually one of my personal favorite legions because they're just
Maybe
really
I'll
cool.
join
They're
them.
fun to play as because of all their flamer weapons, and they have a nice, like, more heartwarming lore as opposed to being super evil like everyone else is. Oh my god, we're not even a quarter of the way
They
through the
love
Space Marine
torching
legions.
people?
Imperial Fists, leading the power of the siege and defensive positions. Raven Guards, master of stealth and sabotage while having bird helmets. Iron Hands, masters of machines and vehicles while being really goddamn good at being sold on eBay after one nerf. Space Wolves, Vikings and wolves, and tons of wolves and
Furries!
axes, battle axes, fur
Wait, these guys
everywhere.
are
Space
cool.
Wolves, so angry, big teeth, Blood Angels,
Like
the
Vikings.
genetic defect to
The
make them want to
Viking,
drink
the
blood and
furries.
go crazy, called the Red Thirst. They have Cupid wings and stuff, which is a little bit strange, and they are all super gay for Sanguinius. Dark
I mean,
Angels
look
are old
at him.
school
He just looks like Alucard.
knights and inner circle theme and
I don't feel like going back.
Are you a heretic?
Me? No, never.
No, I'm not a heretic.
Death Watch, a fancy-pantsy anti-Xenos group that nobody plays because Death Watch, and they look cool though, but no one plays them. I don't know about Death Watch. They're there though.
How
Black
did I know he
Templar,
was a
for the people
vampire?
who, if you haven't prayed at least 3 times a day, you're gonna start praying out that airlock. And I'm sure there's some other chapters I may have missed as well, like Crimson Fist and stuff, but those are the main ones right here. Here, quote from the Emperor himself. They shall be my finest warriors, these men who give of themselves to me. Like clay I shall mold them, and in the furnace of war I shall forge them. They shall be of iron will and steely sinew. In great armor I shall clad them, and with the mightiest weapons shall they be armed. They will be untouched by plague or disease, no sickness shall blight them. They shall have such tactics, strategies, and machines that no foe will best them in battle. They are my
This is
bulwark
already
against
better
the terror.
than
They are my
the
defenders of
human
humanity. They are my
guys in the
Space
beginning.
Marines, and they shall know no fear. And on the tabletop, they fuck.
I like this one.
Oh, they fuck hard. As of making this video, Space Marines are laughably strong. That might change at some point, but overall, Space Marines just have it's like a Swiss Army knife. A tool
It's
for
so
anything you
blue.
need, except it's like a
that looks like a
gold-plated
horseshoe.
Swiss Army knife. It is extremely strong. If you are actually getting into the tabletop of Warhammer, Space Marines are a great start. Also, whatever gameplay style you have, whether you want to be sit back with long range and heavy weaponry, go fast and run in, or even just full melee, all of these options are totally there
furry,
for you.
melee
Space
furries.
Marines are super badass. But unfortunately,
Omega. I
it's
didn't
time
even
we start praying to our new god,
I didn't even
the
think about the Omega
2011
symbol.
Honda Civic.
So is it
No
any
way!
wonder people are
Not the
afraid of
Civic!
technology?
Technology!
The Adeptus
Technology.
Mechanicus. The Adeptus Mechanicus are a technophile cult on Mars. Now, these people are a little bit weird because they don't actually really believe in the Emperor of Mankind. And you might think, oh, whoa, Berkey, that sounds like some heresy. A little bit. They believe in the Emperor, they believe in his power, but they don't pray to him. They pray to something called the Omnissiah. And the Omnissiah is this kind of machine god that they believe permeates in all machines.
Their
And if you
outfits look
think,
cool.
well, wait a minute, they believe in a different god as well. That sounds like super heresy.
Yeah,
Well,
I was gonna say heresy.
But they also make all your guns,
Oh.
and they make all your tanks,
They get a pass.
and they make everything that you have.
They get a pass.
So you can't really tell them to fuck off, because you're not gonna win nothing if you don't got stuff to shoot people with.
So-
See, their Omnissiah at least
Oh my
makes
goodness,
sense
sorry.
from their
Are they like the Brotherhood from Fallout, or is that a bad comparison? I mean, they have like... Never mind.
standpoint. They believe it to be a deity that permeates through all machines. Your Honda Civic, your standard bolt
No.
gun, your Dune Strider Walker, your giant mechs, your huge ships. The
Close enough,
Omnissiah is
okay.
present through all.
I'm seeing a mix of answers here. Is it because you hate the Brotherhood? Because you should hate the Brotherhood. That you say that they're not like them? I'm confused.
And the only reason your stuff works is because the machine's spirit in it
Oh,
says it works.
biomechanical.
If you
Okay.
want your gun to work, your tank to run, you must pray to it. And I mean full stop. You need to start chanting in high Gothic.
Wait, there's literally someone in YouTube chat called Brotherhood of Steel. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You need to burn incense. You need to sit on your knees and pray to that car. You need to rub oil on your robes, and you need to go, ahomina, homina, 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 homina. Full stop. If you want your damn thing to work, if you want your gun to fire, you need to do that.
Thank you for the super chat. They are close to the Brotherhood if the Brotherhood shoved the tech they found into themselves like an addiction. Oh, okay.
They are
Got it.
very bizarre, and they actually have a bit of a point because it's obviously working. And if you look at them, I don't know how that works. So they obviously know
They look
something about what they're
awesome.
doing. The most notable member of the Adeptus Mechanicus is Archmagos, Magos, whatever, Belisarius Call. Look at this dude. Look at this dude. Yeah.
Do they even feel pain?
This is the group we're talking about. These are these weirdos. Here, the Omnissiah Creed. The credo, Omnissiah. There is no truth in flesh, only betrayal. There is no strength in flesh, only weakness. There is no constancy in flesh, only decay. There is no certainty in flesh,
I mean,
but death. Flesh
they're
is
right,
weakness,
though.
flesh is death.
Listen, they're right. They're right. Everyone is a ticking clock, okay? We're all decaying. Some of us may be decaying quicker than the other. So, I think this one is one of the better ones. Anyways.
The Omnissiah is the god of the machines, and if you wish to be whole, if you wish to be holy, if you wish to give unto him, you must saw down your limbs and remove your organs and replace them with mechanical parts, because that is what he wants, and that is how you will become enlightened. Hard technophiles mixed with religious extremism.
No, literally, it's literally the white rabbit with the watch. Or the stopwatch.
Adeptus Mechanicus. Now, for their army side of things, they are with the Scutari. The Scutari operate with very bizarre weaponry and lots of different kinds of vehicles, tanks, and different people in between. They're very weird, but they have extremely wacky and enjoyable, and in fact quite effective, both in the real game and in the lore, weaponry and gear. Overall, as an army on the tabletop, they're very weird and have a whole bunch of different shenanigans, but if you like kind of that quirky, wacky techno thing, I'd give them a
looks
pickup.
really cool.
Hell, they're so paranoid. I gotta keep going. They're so paranoid and crazy. These Dune Striders you see right here, one guy was able to make them work. One guy, and he died. And they're so scared they'll never work again that they keep them on and they never turn them off, and they run around in a circle the whole time until they need them, and then they corral it and they go into battle.
What?
Yep.
Sounds like
The Adeptus
insanity.
Mechanicus. Now, if you want to talk about faith, though, Ooh,
Ooh,
let's
that's
talk
a
about
good
the
game.
Sisters of Battle.
A simp has fallen for an eagle in Lego City.
The Sisters of Battle of the Adeptus
Oh my goodness,
Sororitas,
women!
if that's how I pronounce it correctly, is an all-female group of battle
Girls!
sisters going through the ecclesiarchy section
this is
of the
my
Imperium. The ecclesiarchy is, of course, the church. This
my
is, imagine
faction.
a private army of the church, which is scary. And it is. The sisters are an extremely zealotous force, and they take this to a full extreme. They believe in three main things: faith,
my goodness.
martyrdom, and fire. Through the
Literally Joan of Arc, the Joan of Arc faction.
the Flamer, and the Melta, the Sisters of Battle are extremely potent at taking out chaos and heretics. Mainly heretics, because as they are a fighting section of the Ecclesiarchy Church, that's the big thing they want to kill.
Well, Joan of Arc was killed because she was considered a heretic, even though she's not a heretic. Anyways.
Any form of heretic will face the Emperor's justice through those three main weapons: the Bolter, the Flamer, and the Melta, and they will do so with extreme prejudice.
They're so beautiful.
They are the closest things we have to nuns in space. And I'm talking hardcore nuns. They carry holy fire on their backs. They have holy books and sigils all across their armor. Their main battle tank is a fucking pipe organ.
I was gonna say, that's an
missile launcher.
organ.
They have small babies that they have removed their brain capacity to make them little servant cherubs to fly around and give them ammunition and shit. Wait,
you could make them little, well, I mean, just make drones at that point. You could make bombers out of them, but just these drones. I forget we're so technologically advanced already.
Off churches from low orbit as mini drop pods onto battles. They drop churches into battles and they blare war hymns and holy music from their frigates in low atmosphere and shower holy water across the battlefield. These are the people.
Holy music can sometimes be a banger, okay? Wait, these guys are awesome. Well, girls are awesome. I like this one. This one's my favorite so far.
You are dealing with, and they're fucking awesome. They can literally stave off
I can't look at that.
On the tabletop because their faith is that strong. Remember the warp, the demons from the warp? Well, the warp also manifests in your mind.
The girls are already the best ones so far. I mean, there might be better ones.
All of your emotions, negative and positive, go through the warp. It's the immaterium, the place of all things. So if you are that mentally fortified, that mentally strong, you can stave off horrifying demons. And all these girls, not a crack.
So these girls are literally Doom Guy, but Doom Girl. This is literally Doom Guy, but Doom Women, Doom Girl.
Not a crack in that mental armor. Now, as much as a meme as they are, and as much as their models look a lot like Ongo Gabloglian, yeah, which I can't unsee anymore, I gotta say, I love their design. I think they're extremely cool.
Awesome.
They're another army that I'm currently collecting. They just released a whole new line of figures very recently, and they look wonderful. Everything from Celestine, the living, literally undying
They look so cool. They're literally angels.
From the triumph of Saint Catherine, which is literally a funeral procession as a model. Those organ tanks I mentioned earlier. This shit is the most over-the-top badassery in a lot of the Warhammer universe.
I'm getting chills from this photo.
But Sisters of Battle are so cool. While I'm a guardsman at heart,
that's
this
beautiful
is such
art.
a cool faction.
This is
By
art.
Bolter Shell, Flamer Burst, and Melta Blast, the mutant, the heretic, and the traitor alike are cleansed of their sin of existence. So it has been for 5 millennia, so shall it be until the end of time. And speaking of burning demons,
I can see!
The Grey Knights.
The Grey Knights are the first army I actually collected.
So, question. If these Sisters of Battle weren't there, would the Necron population just completely obliterate all the humans, or no? Or whatever the demons are called.
Back in 7th edition. The Grey Knights are a super secretive and much more old school look at power armored knights, except they are all psychers. All of them have that crazy space magic magician
Not
shit.
Necrons. I don't really know what the demons, whatever they fight.
For every 100,000 guardsmen, there's one Grey Knight. For every 10,000 Sisters of Battle, there's one Grey Knight. For every 1,000 Space Marines, there's one Grey Knight. Grey Knights are the strongest of the strong, both in mental will and absolute just strength. These are Space Marines that are all high-level psychers, all of them able to specifically do one goal, and that is kill demons. The Emperor believed that the demons of chaos were the number one threat to the Imperium, and he probably is right. However, this group is entirely based on doing that through a myriad of tactics. Coming from the planet, or I guess the moon of Titan in the Sol system, the Grey Knights are thrown through extremely rigorous training and are as clear of mind and soul as they possibly can.
Thank you for the super chat. One faction of Sisters fights practically bug covered in holy papers and cloth. Thank you for the super chat, by the way, Stumpers.
Since the demons of the warp are the warp and your mind projects to the warp, people can go insane very fast, especially lower level psychers. These Grey Knights need to be able to harness the warp in the presence of demons and stay perfectly sane. One of their characters, one of my favorite characters, is named Castellan Crow. He has a demon blade, the black blade of Mahamahama, and he has to have it on him because it tempts everyone nearby, constantly beckoning them. Use my power, use my strength, suck my penis, whatever the possibility. And so he has to keep it on him all the time as this thing whispers to him consistently, and he has to stave it off.
He has a mind of steel.
Being alone in his chambers or on the battlefield, because anyone who gets too close to it might be tempted a little too hard. He is that pure of heart and mind, and all the characters in the Grey Knights are basically like that. The only issue is that the Grey Knights have a scorched earth policy, more ways than one. If they're fighting demons, demons corrupt and make people crazy. So if I'm a guardsman and I'm fighting demons and the Grey Knights arrive and they kill all the demons,
okay,
I'm a risk.
Yeah.
And so guess who's not making it out of there? On the tabletop, they're very strike fast, strike hard kind of people. They teleport all around the place. They are fast strike groups.
It said interspecies reviewer.
Amounts of models, because they're so dang strong, you only have so many characters, but with it, you get in there, you're very tough, very tanky, you hit really hard, and you try to bounce around the battlefield quickly, but you don't have numbers, and so every dead Grey Knight hits really damn hard. They're fun, though, if you like that kind of fast-striking kind of army. Oh, and also, Caldor Drago is a thing. We're not even going to get into Caldor Drago. All right, that is, oh my goodness gracious. I am the hammer. I am the mail about his fist. I am the spear in his hand. Though we are lost, I am the shield on his arm. I am the flight of his arrows. I am the hammer. I am the sword. I am the shield. I am a soldier at the battle at the end of time. Grey Knights are pretty hardcore. They are as holy as you can get for a Space Marine. If you like Space Marines and you want to, you know that they're holy enough, you want to be holier, Grey Knights.
I like the
Now you want to be holier and big. Let's talk Imperial Knights.
Ooh.
Oh Lord, he coming!
Oh my goodness! It looks medieval! Monty Python!
Gigantic walkers the size of homes or medium-sized buildings. Do you want to kill heretics, but you want to kill like 40 of them per turn? Do you want a gigantic old-school knight noble house style of walkers with giant chainsaw arms? Then you got Imperial Knights. Imperial Knights, it's not a whole lot to talk about them because they're just gigantic walkers, but they have this old-school like house feel to them, like literally like they're houses. Each
Yeah.
Imperial Knight comes from a house, and each of them
Yeah.
act in their own special way. These
Ooh, do they
behemoth
have
of
their own,
walkers
like, night
also
crests?
destroy almost everything in their path, killing full swaths of squads in a couple shots, stepping on legions of troops. Like, these things do not mess around.
Ooh,
And they
that's
look
so cool.
cool. Imperial Knights and Chaos Knights, actually, for that matter, don't have a whole lot to discuss. They're just super big, heavy walkers, and they look different depending on your house or Chaos God you currently believe in. And overall, these things are just really cool if you want to murder everything in your path. They're the big, scary,
Them
big
demons.
units of Warhammer, and if you want to collect them, go to town. They make for a great painting project, too. Getting more back down to earth, let's talk something about a little bit different, a little more gold. If guardsmen are regular soldiers,
Gold.
space marines are super soldiers,
Ooh,
gray knights
ah.
are super
Thank you for the super chat, Ghosty. But have you ever seen the Space King series from Flashlights? It's a really funny take on the Warhammer lore. This is my first Warhammer 40k video, so I haven't seen that, but I'll keep that in mind.
soldiers. The Adeptus Custodes are super soldiers cubed. The Adeptus Custodes are the third
There's
major army I own.
gold.
I know, 3 armies. I know,
You
I
have
got
eyes
carried
on
away,
them.
okay, but that's all. I only have 3, okay?
Looks like the evil eyes.
They are our final brand of Space Marines, but these
Oh.
ones are super special. Okay? If
Oh.
a guardsman is 6 foot, a Space Marine is 7 feet, a custodian is 8 feet. These
What?
are the giant defenders of Holy Terra, which is also Earth. Earth is Terra. Earth, Terra.
They're-
Themselves. These are the people that literally guard the Emperor's throne room, hence custodies. These boys protect the
They're
Emperor's
golden.
throne room at all times and are literally like handcrafted people. They're not humans brought up by a gene seer or something. These are all
Angels!
handcrafted.
This is
super
literally
soldiers.
the Ophandim of I don't know the name. It's a certain type of angel. Anyways,
I think from a tube. These behemoth of men are like 8 feet, 8.5 feet tall, and functionally immortal. They stand still, spear in hand, for hundreds of years without the need to sleep and barely even the need to eat, watching over the
Yeah,
throne
we
room
must
and every
protect.
other area of Holy Terra for their entire purpose in life. And oh my lord,
they do look
are
like
they
bananas.
terrifying. These custodians put Space Marines to shame. If you liked your super soldiers, these are your super mega soldiers. One of these men
Yeah,
can
they
take
look
on
really
probably
cool.
3 Space Marines and most likely win. There are many different groups of custodians as well, like the Solar Watch, or there's
Okay,
also one of my
let's-
personal favorite, the Equivalent.
the guy we saw before. This guy, I do not like this armor. Okay, now it's for I hate this. But then he switches to this one. Perfect. Lovely.
The
Anyways.
Aquilin Shield. The Aquilin Shield go out to seemingly unimportant individuals and protect them because they believe that they are going to be doing something very important in their lives. For instance, let's say a regular guardsman gets the protection of this giant 8.5 foot tall golden god because that guardsman will end up becoming a general
And the
one day or
colors just
something of that
are
nature.
much
The custodians
better, or
work
just-
in
it just looks
mysterious
better.
ways and are almost always outnumbered but never outmatched. These people are pretty horrifying, both on the tabletop as well as in the lore. There are very few of them, however, and there's actually an extremely small amount of them, but that's kind of the point. There's only so many of these people that can have war gear this strong, weapons this powerful, and training this good. And the custodians have all 3 of it. For 100 years, I stood my watch amidst the somber shadows of the
I think, side note, this is not related to Warhammer, but gold is married to any color. Gold looks better, like, with any color. Like, just think, blue with gold, red with gold, pink with gold, purple with gold, black with gold, white with gold. Gold can go with any color, but it's just the way you use it is why I didn't like that first suit. Anyways.
Sanctum Imperialis. I was still as a statue, but always ready, always attuned to dangers unseen. Days, months, years passed by in a frenzied blur beyond those walls, yet within, little moved and nothing changed. For 100 years, I did not but wait, yet had any threat appeared, I would have struck it down in a heartbeat. For 100 years, I stood my watch, and as it ends, I can tell you this: patience is a weapon. The custodians are the top dogs of the Imperium, and they hurt just that same way. Though I do want to discuss a little bit about the Sisters of Silence before we get out of here, because the Sisters of Silence I also have a few of.
The lion head was so cool. It also reminds me of.
But they don't get.
Hold on, it reminds me of. Is it the cherubim? The one that has the lion, the ox, the eagle, something like that. Anyways.
Enough attention. These kind of bald plume ladies are a whole group of
the battle sisters are better.
They're also known as blanks. We'll be referring to them as blanks from now on. So as every mind is somewhat connected to the warp,
from Avatar: The Last
these blanks
Airbender
are a genetic mutation that has it suppressed heavily. Because of that mind suppression, normal people feel this weird, like, uncomfortable nature when around them. When a Sister of Silence walks past them, you feel ill. You feel just uncomfortable and strange. So most of them don't actually live past childhood, because once they are birthed, they're, killed or something at a very young age, because they just emit a horrifying aura. These ladies, however, are guardians of the throne as well for more psychic threats. See, none of the custodians are psychers, so they have a difficult time dealing with major demons and other kinds of psychic phenomena. These sisters are extremely specialized in it, all of them taking a vow of silence as they don't speak, hence the term Sisters of Silence.
So I'm seeing that the women here really don't like demons. All the women are just killing demons. Got it. Awesome. I like that.
But they communicate through hand gestures and things of that nature. But if there's a demon issue, if there's any kind of warp-based problem, the sisters are extremely adept at dealing with them, thanks to their blank gene. They normally work a lot of time with the custodians because they have to deal with both kinds of threats, but they're not.
Thank you for the super chat, Cherubim Seraphim of Nim. You got the cherubs, yes.
Represented that way on the tabletop. In fact, they only have like one real model.
I know a little bit about angels.
I hope they'll get some like news soon, because I think they should really be working together as it is that way in the war. But hopefully we'll get there soon. But if we're talking about blanks, let's talk assassins.
Blanks. Ooh, I like
it's been a long video. We're about to round it out. We got this and one more human thing, and then we're done. The assassins, though, the Officio Assassinorum, oh boy, these people are deadly. Yeah, they're called assassins. They should be.
They look so cool.
Man, these people will mess you up. So these are from the Officio Assassinorum.
Thank you for the super chat, Banana Chicken. To be real, nobody likes demons. Not even other demons.
Assassinorum, a very special organization, and they are handpicked by the Grand Master of the Officio Assassinorum.
I like this logo.
From the what was it called? Scola.
I think you've already said that.
It's basically an orphan school. Your parents got murdered by demons or something. You get sent to this, and you get trained to be whatever. Tempestus drop troop, an inquisitor, maybe even. Maybe you get.
Wait. This might be the best outfit. Go back. Oh, yeah. This looks like a cowgirl, kind of. Wow. This is my favorite outfit so far. Anyways.
Maybe you get a blank gene and you get thrown into the Sisters of Silence, or sometimes you just disappear. When you are taken, however, you go to one of four temples, because the Assassinorum works in the temple style of things. These temples are the Vindicare, Caluxus, Calidus, and Eversor temples. Let's start with the Vindicare. I'm far away. I've been sitting here for 3 weeks. Poof! The Vindicare Temple is the main sniper-based temple. Gigantic sniper rifles for all these assassins. Their whole point is to be able to be in a spot and sit there, eye and scope for weeks.
Can I be honest with you, asshole? Sniper is like my least favorite thing to do in FPS. Anyways.
Waiting for their perfect target, taking people out from literal miles away after extremely long time periods. The Vindicare Temple is about precise, perfect aim. There have been reports of Vindicares being able to
look pretty
single out
cool.
particular body parts from over 2-3 miles away. Temples in the head, the jugular, for instance, and been sitting there after weeks. And when they're ready, take that shot, time is done, packs them up. The Calidus Temple, however, is a lot more about shape-shifting and deviant art. It's mostly a female-based one, at least it seems to be, and this allows a...
I see 2 reasons why that there is lots and lots and lots of fan art of this certain... Yeah, there's 2 reasons why and latex.
A lot of body augmentation for certain individuals to be able to kind of transmorph themselves and infiltrate areas that are problems. These assassins will end up taking missions that take them years, 2-3 years, to infiltrate a heretical group and slowly work their way up just to get enough time to put a bullet into the main target's head and then escape unharmed. Or become the main target and sabotage it from within. These are all completely about deception, mind tricks, polymorphing, and everything in between. And
she has
lots
blonde hair.
Lots of
I knew it!
The Eversor Temple.
I knew there'd be fetish art.
The Eversor Temple is about when you don't want anything to...
that was the pose. Anyways.
To come back alive, friend or foe. You want it all dead. An Eversor is psychogenically conditioned with just psychotherapy and psychological torture to only feel violence, hatred, and anger. It does the Clockwork Orange style of thing of just making you forced to watch never-ending pain and misery and psycho conditioning, I guess is the...
That's me when I am forced to play Valorant or League of Legends.
term. And then they pump you full of tons of psychedelic drugs and they cryo-freeze you. And then they drop you in an area where they just want to make sure everything is dead. And then you defrost, full of just all this insane, mind-boggling psychotherapy and psychedelic drugs, and you just go to town. Yeah, if you don't care if anyone comes back alive. You're like, all right, lost cause, send them in. Finally, there's the most bizarre...
Me when someone tries to get me to watch Glee or Riverdale. Endless pain and suffering. Anyways.
The temple, the Caluxus Temple. The Caluxus assassins are feared even among the other temples. So that blank gene, the people will go to the Caluxus Temple with this as well. And this is where they can harness that to be massively anti-psyker or even just anti-regular people. They're seen with extreme fear and
this sounds an interesting design.
Among many people. They're described by the Eldar by quote as being pure evil. Imagine that uncomfortable feeling from that blank gene I mentioned, and then imagine them being taught and given equipment to amplify it by 100. If normally regular people feel uncomfortable, now they are basically akin to being a siren wailing directly in your ear. And if you're a psyker...
He's a conehead.
Oh no. The sheer presence of a Caluxus assassin
I didn't even see
is
the
enough
cone
for you to
head.
tear your skin off. You will rather gouge your eyes out and rip your nails off than even being near this person. The Caluxus assassin is when you want psychers to literally lose their minds, and they will go on their knees and ask you to gun them down because it is a suitable choice over being anywhere near you. The motto of that temple is, that which is unknown and unseen commands the greatest fear. Now for the tabletop, assassins aren't that special. You can call them in no matter what Imperium faction you are, and they do a lot of work for themselves, but at the same time, they're very specialized and require a lot of finesse. And they work the way you generally want them to. You know which one's my favorite. You want to cause some distortion and weird stuff, you take a Calidus. You want to just murder swaths of infantry and then blow up Eversor. You want to kill that one guy, Vindicare, and if you have a lot of psychers, Caluxus. It's a nice little like jack of all trades if you have a specific thing you want to kill. And you get to choose which is really fun. But now, let's talk about the last human faction. We can round this video out before we do part two. The Inquisition. We have a lot to talk about with them.
On the subject of heresy.
Oh my
Oh, boy.
goodness.
Where do I even begin with the Inquisition? Take every secret
Where's
police
the hats?
you can think of. The KGB, the Gestapo, the CIA, FBI, any of these kinds of people. And then mark it up by
Oh my
about
goodness.
10 and give them the most power in the entire Imperium. No, you know what? How about this? This right here, it's not just a quote.
Okay, I
This
like
is
the outfit less.
imperial
Seeing that
motto,
one. I like the all black.
motto of the Inquisition. I apologize for my bad pronunciation. Innocentia nihil probat. Innocence proves nothing.
What?
The most powerful organization in the Imperium, the secret police, their number one motto is innocence proves nothing. The Inquisition goes around
you know what?
like the
Never
secret
mind.
police or like detectives
Oh,
to
I love
find
this outfit,
issues
though.
in the Imperium. And they have
No,
different
I
ordos
might
depending on
give
which one we're
up my
talking about.
morals
The
for
Ordo
this outfit.
Hereticus, the Ordo Xenos,
It
the
literally
Ordo
looks like.
Malleus, for instance.
Is it Gyro from Steel Ball Run? Looks like Gyro. Not gonna lie. It just looks like an emo version of Gyro.
and a whole bunch of other ones. Hereticus is obvious, they deal with heretics. Xenos tries to find alien threats, and Malleus is demons. They all have different specializations in what they're trying to go for as this Inquisitor. And that's what they're called, Inquisitors. Each of them, as an Inquisitor, has their own free reign to do as they wish. They may have a ship and a crew, and they go out to find problems and interrogate people a lot. They are above the law in every department.
Oh, okay.
Over Space Marines. Now, the Space Marines might argue against them and stuff, and there might be a lot of blowback, but technically they are above them
Ooh, I
as
kind of like
Inquisitors.
this
They are looking
spaceship.
to
It looks awesome.
investigate and figure out coups and cults and demonic incursions and possible Xenos issues like gene stealers or a new threat coming into an area. They're about learning that stuff and actually doing detective work. And
Wait, he
mutants
looks
aside,
cool.
they're pretty good at it. The Inquisition having all of this power does make them a little bit power hungry and frantic sometimes. And yes, it is still a bad thing, but most of them are pretty good at their job. And they
Why does she, like... Excuse my zoomer. Why does she look so cunty? Why does she slay? Anyways.
spend a lot of time being very diligent to make sure that all of these leads they follow
does look like
are proper
Marie
and correct. They're
Antoinette.
basically space detectives with just enormous power and sometimes a bit of a power
She looks
complex. And we
awesome.
haven't even talked about Exterminatus yet. Exterminatus. Exterminatus is deeming a planet unfit to be saved. I deem that this planet is demon infested and taking it back will cost too many resources and is not worth it. I have now committed Exterminatus on this planet. I will now sign the death warrant of an entire Imperium planet as it is unfit to take and better to be destroyed than allow the enemy to hold it. This can mean saturation bombardment. This can mean cracking the planet's core and breaking it apart. Doesn't matter. Render this planet inhospitable to all life. Yes,
What?
the innocence proves nothing. People
Wait, this is
are
like-
the only people who can choose
Anti-save
this planet
the
must die in its entirety.
This is anti...
Yeah, you're playing the villain. Now, it is memed a lot, but most Inquisitors
like-
are very rare to do Exterminatus.
I gotta stop myself from
Exterminatus
saying
is a
anything.
very crazy thing. There's only so many worlds that you don't want to destroy all of them. Now, naturally, with the memes aside, there are some people who are a little bit rough on this one.
If I can't have you, no one can!
But most Inquisitors generally don't like to do Exterminatus a ton, but it is an option they have. And it's a crazy option.
So
when you
these
think
are
about
the
it.
villains.
Secret Police Inquisition are unfortunately
Okay, this
not
outfit's
represented on the
ugly.
tabletop very much. You generally kind of put one in your army if you feel like it. You have a couple special options there and some side content, but they're not really fleshed out very well, and personally they need a lot more stuff
Hi,
put in there.
Ken.
They really need a lot more effort put into them, and they're not quite where I want them to be. Overall, the Inquisition makes for a lot of the best storytelling as well, because it's a little bit hard.
Her outfit looks good in this art. Also, the battle lady behind her looks amazing. I don't know, I still kind of like
to talk about a big
the
story of a whole bunch of
nuns.
space marines killing something, right? It's just a big battle story. It's not as interesting. Having that intrigue and that moral dilemma that an inquisitor has makes for a lot better media. And honestly, the more people do it, I think it's better, because then it adds a little more humanity to the Warhammer horrible, horrible grimdarkness. And wow, we just finished the humans, all right? Come back for part 2 when we talk about Chaos and Xenos.
Wait, that's the end?
We got to talk about the 4 Chaos Gods
That
and
was
all
already
the
50 minutes?
Chaos Marine Legions
But how
and
long
the
have I
Tau
been
and the
streaming for?
Necrons and the Orcs, and oh boy, we got a lot. I'll see you in part.
How long have I been streaming for, guys? Oh, like an hour? What? This video was 51 minutes. Why are we at an hour and 40 minutes? Oh yeah, because I talk a lot. So, did you like that video? I really like that video. I like the space nuns! And don't crucify me, but I really, really like how the Inquisitor outfits look. Which one would I choose? It would either be Inquisitors or I think I'd choose the Space Nuns. Yeah, I'm gonna choose the Space Nuns. I know, they do. Inquisitors do have the drip. Is it worth it? Is it worth it to give up my morals for nice clothes? I mean, look at me, I'm a Gyadu. I mean, look at me. Of course. Drip above all morals. Yeah, it's definitely the hat. It's because I really like cowboy stuff. Anyways, so do you like watching the demon video, or should I save that for another stream? Or we could watch the demon one. Or is there a better video for me to watch about the lore? Or do you think this one is like the best video there is out there? There was a guy several years ago who did... Wait. There was a guy several years ago who did Army and Hello Kitty cult. Wait, that sounds awesome. I'd love that. Is it demon time? Do we want to watch the demon one? Demon? Yes, okay, it's demon time then. Demon time! Does anyone actually like the demons? Who actually likes demons here? Or is demons like the main antagonist? Okay, where's part 2? Is this part 2? I think this is part 2. Yeah, this is part 2. Okay. Bong, bong, bong. Part 2. Oh yeah. We're learning about the demons. Demons. Blech. Yuck. Disgusting, vile creatures that I stamp my foot on.
2 in a 2-part series on the Warhammer races. If you haven't seen part 1 yet, we do the Imperium of Man. You can check that out in the description, and I would highly recommend you watch that to get context for this episode. If you already have, go ahead and keep on watching. So after an entire episode of nothing but humans, we can now talk about chaos, which involves humans again, but a little bit less. We also got demons and shit.
I just felt someone
Demons!
grab my ass.
What?
Like
What?
hard, Nick.
So, as I've mentioned many times before, we've discussed the warp, the immaterium, the hellish landscape, the purgatory dimension realm between the material
The
realm of our
warp,
existence.
yes.
Now, in the warp, it's terrifying, horrible. There are demons everywhere. Things are crazy. All
Demon wormhole! But not really. Demon nexus?
your mind's thoughts and emotions get projected there. It is both formless and empty. It is vast and
Demon-y.
tiny. It obeys the laws of time and physics while simultaneously does absolutely nothing of the sort. It is a hodgepodge and a culmination of just unknowable, eldritch, horrifying shit.
Okay,
and there are
wormhole's
4
right. Oh,
gods
okay.
that permeate in chaos and the warp. These are the 4 major
4.
chaos gods. And if we wish to learn about chaos, we need to learn about
Lasso, you already know which one I like.
each and every single one of these chaos gods. First up, we have Korn, and he is the easiest. Korn is your classic Satan. He is all about anger,
green
murder,
one.
fighting, blood, guts, death. You ever heard the term blood for the blood god, skulls for the skull
Blood for the
throne?
blood
That's
god?
Korn. The whole idea
I've
is
heard
that
that all
he
the
is all
time.
about the fury and strength of battle.
Wait, is blood
he
for the...
doesn't care.
Wait, sorry, let me pause it for a second. Is blood for the blood god, like, where this came from? Is that actually where this came from? No way. I hear this all the time. Yes? Oh my goodness. Wait. I'm learning. Oh my... Wait, that's awesome.
Where
Okay.
blood comes from, so long as blood is flowing. He wants
glad I
to
watched
fight
this
and
video.
murder and carnage and slaughter and death,
Look at the
death,
smile.
death, death, death.
Look at the
That is-
smile. Look at the smile of this blood god. He just looks like he's smiling, like perpetually all the time.
is
He's so
Korn.
happy.
Very simple to understand. Next up, you have Zeech, and
Happy,
Zeech is the
happy,
god
happy.
of
Hold on.
change. Always be understand. Next up,
Wait, let me go back. Quit switching. Oh my goodness. Happy, happy, happy. Happy, 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 happy. Anyways.
Next up, you have Zeech, and Zeech is the god of change. However, the god of change
This looks like
permeates in so many different other ways. He's the most eldritch of all the
wisdom.
demon gods. He has this weird way to always be plucking at the strings of the universe. He's always conniving and scheming and doing his best to cause as much little bullshit as he can. Zeech is unknowable. Everything that
goodness.
makes sense, he will and won't do. Every future and
He
setting and
seems
every
very
type of
Zen-like.
destiny or fate is all foretold and also changeable. It is set in stone while also completely random. He knows what everything is going to happen and also that none of
Look at
it's
his
going to happen.
belly
You would ask
tongue.
Zeech a question. And that question leads to 3 more questions. And those questions lead to the heat death of the universe, which asks 4 answers to those questions. And then he thinks to himself, what are questions even really? And are you
Yeah.
even asking the questions? Or are you simply giving paths to answers and other
So this is postmodernism. Okay. Anyway.
Zeech is just I'm gonna fuck with stuff. He is yes and he is no. He is the
Thank you for the
understanding and
super
he is
chat. Fart McAllister. Why come you am so quiet? What? Am I quiet? So he's the postmodernist god. But like the postmodern, his ideals are mischievous, right?
complexity. He is unknowable. And that's what the God of Change
His
is about.
agenda
Very
is
bizarre. And he likes birds
mischievous.
a lot. I don't know why.
Ooh,
Next up we got
okay, they look
Papa
cool.
Nurgle. Papa Nurgle.
Okay, birds are the closest thing to dinosaurs, and dinosaurs are like the coolest animal. Anyways,
He loves you for who you are. Probably not. He
And
will murder you
dragons.
just the same. But Papa
Papa
Nurgle is about
Nurgle.
rot, pestilence.
okay, so okay, wait. The smiling guy is the sin of wrath. Nurgle is the sin of gluttony. The wisdom guy, I don't know which sin he is. And then you got the succubus, which is lust. Anyways.
Death and decay. He is the end of everything. Him and Zeech
Pride?
do
Yeah,
not like
pride.
each other very much because where Zeech represents change and adjustment, Nurgle represents stagnation and death.
He's
He is
giving
all
off
about
gluttony
miasma
vibes.
and pestilence and large bloat and pus and organs and people just being sedentary, sloth.
Death?
He is
Oh.
the idea that everything
really
will
fat.
rot and decay and die. Nothing is certain besides decay
sorry,
and
Nurgle.
death.
You
All
seem
of
really
us will
cute.
end up the same way and broken down.
I just
through
thought you were a
sheer,
gluttony. I'm
never-ending
sorry.
decomposition.
I'm sorry for thinking you're a gluttony. You're very cute. You're a very cute demon god. Your name Nurgle is cute. I saw a super chat though. Thank you, Maxis. Important thing Bricky never mentions is the Chaos Gods have no definitive form or gender. They're living embodiments of overlapping concepts, though Khorne and Nurgle have common forms.
So
Okay,
the
so
joke
that
Nurgle
succubus
always loves
lady
you is
could be a
generally
boy?
because of that. Because we all end up
Dropped.
the same. We all rot and we all die and wither. That's Nurgle, and he's got a general theme of course, pestilence and different kinds of diseases and sickness and things of that nature. That's generally Nurgle. He's pretty easy to understand as well, and he chunk. Finally, we have the youngest of the Chaos Gods, and that is Slanesh, also known as the Prince of Pleasure or the God of Unspeakable Excess.
Boy!
Slanesh is generally referred to with sex.
Never mind, guys.
But it's not only sex, it's just that's a good avenue if you want to make stuff. Slanesh is just the idea
Wait, they
of
look
the senses
amazing.
of
I
the
changed
body
my mind.
being cranked to not just 11, but more like 17. See, we'll discuss
I
Slanesh a little
changed
bit
my
more when we
mind.
talk about the Eldar, because they done fucked up.
Undropped
But
after I saw that art.
it or whatever is mainly about just the excess of emotions, and therefore sex is generally
you.
a large part of it.
Whoa!
However, it's
Whoa!
mostly pain and torture.
Ow!
Lots of pain, torture, but sometimes sexually related.
Like,
or
is he having fun or is he in pain? I can't tell. I can't tell what's going on. Yes. The answer is yes, Lulu. Yes.
drugs related, lots of drugs. Lots of drugs. Slanesh
Oh,
gets
okay.
off on everything.
Okay.
Extremes in happiness.
He looks like Maroon's Dagon. Anyways.
Extremes in sadness, extremes in pain and
the vampire
sadism
guy.
and masochism, and of course that goes along with the sex part of it as well. It's generally referred to with sex because of the color scheme, very purple, lots of exposed genitalia. A lot of their models
What?
have like exposed nipples and stuff.
Oh,
And that
okay,
is generally
nipples
the
is
theme
fine.
you go for from a physical side, but it really embodies everything, mainly pain and also the excessive amounts of emotion. So when it comes down to it, you'll find a lot of them have things
Whoa.
like spikes.
Wait, this is like, you know those like weird dark fantasy books that a lot of girls like? This is the main love interest. This is a monster girl's dream. Like girls who like monsters. Anyways.
Or whips or any kind of BDSM style gear because it is unspeakable excess, the Prince of Pleasure, everything in excess to the point where it is just sheer frightening. That
Just
is
what kind of things do you read? Joke's on you. I don't read. I'm a cowgirl. I'm illiterate.
Slanesh in a nutshell. A little bit bizarre and a little hard to describe sometimes, but as we talk more about the Dark Eldar later in this video, you'll understand it far, far better and far more than you'd want to. Now you might be thinking, why would anyone ever want to join Chaos? They all look horrifying, screwed up, and just frightening things, right? Well, the thing is that, of course, one, your mind is put into the warp and the materium, so you can be easily swayed by Chaos.
Yes, it did match my color, but I don't know. I'm kind of hesitant.
Demons wanting to get into your head, especially if you're a psyker. Sometimes regiments of the less mentally strong people, whether they be civilians or say low-level guardsmen or conscripts, can be easily swayed by this and become chaos cultists and stuff, and they serve their dark gods and whatever god they personally prefer. However, and this might seem strange, chaos in their own right isn't necessarily evil. See, the warp is every manifestation of emotion and being, every soul, everything of existence. This includes all the good things. All the different chaos gods have another side to their
the
coin.
prince looks
Korn
beautiful.
might be death, murder,
Oh my
slaughter,
goodness,
slaughter,
happy,
but he's
happy,
also
happy
got
guy.
this weird sense of survival of the fittest, trial by combat, and honor. Korn will never lie to you. Korn will never stab you in the back. Korn isn't about
So Korn is like
conniving
the
and
best
scheming.
one.
Korn is about straight up mono, you versus me. Get in the
Man
ring.
to
We're
man.
gonna murder each other hard right
Man to man, just how that is the best way to play basketball is man to man, okay? I like this guy. This is Korn. Anyways.
It may not be a good thing at the end of the day, but it is that other side of the coin. Him and Zeech generally don't get along because Zeech is that conniving schemer, but he's also about the idea of hope. Where there is change for your predicament. There is change for your problem. The hope of the galaxy, the ability to bend the world to your will.
Something about this guy is I don't like him, whether it's his crotch smiling at me. No, I think that's it. Anyway.
The idea that your fate is not set in stone, but in reality that you control your own destiny and can control it whenever you want. The changer of ways. That is Zeech. And of course, Zeech and Nurgle hate each other because while Nurgle does represent stagnation, death, and decay, he also
Think of the super chat. Korn will never stab you in the back. He'll stab you in the chest 20 times, lodge an axe in your face. Hey! Okay, listen. Korn doing that is less painful than being stabbed in the back. Emotionally. Physically, no. But emotionally, he won't betray you. Anyways.
also represents finality and ending. The fact that you can be mentally at peace knowing that you will end and how you will end. Fear of the unknown, fear of change is not present with Nurgle. With Nurgle, everything will rot and die, and that provides that finality, that ability that this is over. We are all the same,
Nurgle has a
and
cute
we will all
name.
end the same. We know the meaning of life. The meaning of life is to live and die and rot. And with that, it brings peace of mind.
He looks stinky
Slanesh
and
is a lot more
gross.
simple.
Oh
While they are
my
the excess
goodness.
of emotion, they are also the representation
my
of
goodness.
emotion. Slanesh embodies
Listen. This woman is very beautiful. But assholes, we cannot be distracted. We cannot get distracted by this temptress. Do not fall for the temptation of such sinful debauchery, such as this.
happiness. Slanesh embodies excitement and joy.
I just wanted to pause and look.
And pleasure, not only in the sense of the physical, bam style of pleasure, but also everything else like food and drink and air on your
gluttony.
cheek and sunlight, the feeling, emotion and feeling. All of that is also represented with Slanesh. So you have to ask,
They're
why are they
beautiful.
always represented as super evil skulls and spikes on everything and want to murder everybody? I don't really got an answer for you on that one. My assumption is that because
Korn is the
mentally,
best.
humans may think worse thoughts, even if we don't act on them, and therefore they're projected in the warp more. That one's a little bit weird. I don't know. This is me spitballing right now, but I don't know. You need a super bad guy. You already got the Imperium of Man. You need some.
I think that's a man, right? Like, or is that a girl? I don't know. I can't tell. Maybe they have both. Maybe they have both parts. Maybe they're like the characters from Hell's Paradise, and they can like switch in between. No, not this guy. The succubus girls. So okay, so it's like the guys from Hell's Paradise. Anyways.
Somebody to be a little bit worse than them. So you got demons. Honestly, who cares? I just want to buy like a bird magician. Look at him. So cool. So combining all this together, on the tabletop, Chaos Demons are generally very melee-based. They run in, go really hard. You have lots of summoning and conjuring, tons of spells. Generally a little bit frail, but they have special saves to make them a little bit stronger. You've got giant demons and smaller demons. You got hordes of little boys and tons of big guys. Demons are,
Ooh,
as
that
they
one was
seem,
cool.
demons. Nurgle is slow.
Nurgle's
Khorne
ugly.
is super scary
Sorry.
in melee. You've got Zeech, who are far more
Ooh,
into psychers and
pink.
spellcasting, and then Slanesh, who is all melee, really,
Okay,
really
wait.
fast.
These ones look the best. Wait, they have dinosaur! They ride on dinosaurs! Oh my goodness, this is the best one. Anyways.
But squishy, but in lots of hordes of tons of melee and pain damage, of course. So overall, the demons are a huge part of 40k and a massive threat to almost every single faction with the exception of a couple. However, the big part about demons is also transferred into the other 9 Primarchs we didn't talk about, which are the Chaos Space Marines.
Ooh. Chaos
So Horus and all of
Astartes.
his boys, all of them in the Primarchs, they have all also become
Chaos Space
Boys,
Marines.
and they all have their own special Chaos Legions, specializing in so many different things.
Okay,
just
that
like
armor
the
looks really
Adeptus
cool.
Astartes, the Angels
I
of
like
Death,
this one.
The regular Space Marines. Chaos Space Marines aren't a whole lot different than the regular Space Marines. They have the same
Ooh, this
armor,
is the
same
emo
training and
Space
toughness.
Marines.
They specialize in different kinds of things, and also a lot of the Primarchs have ascended into greater is it greater demons? They're demon Primarchs at this point. Gigantic, horrifying man-demon hybrids that are pretty awesome, if I'm going to be honest.
Oh my
They look
goodness.
really, really cool.
Whoa,
But
look how
them and their associated
elaborate
legions that they are a part of
the armor
are all
is.
kind of going out there and causing a large ruckus for everyone else.
This
Consider
art
the raw
is so
strength
beautiful.
and firepower of a legion of Space Marines.
And get this. This was before AI. So just like imagine how skilled you have to be to draw this stuff. Right? All this art was drawn probably before AI was good. I mean, it's still not good, but good, kind of good at replicating art pieces.
Imagine that entire
Look how
legion
elaborate.
just converting to chaos and immediately fighting you. It's generally pretty horrifying. There's a lot of them, so I gotta write them down. But you've got the Emperor's Children with Primarch Fulgrim, loyal to Slanesh. These people, they are some messed up people. They're just sensory overload, tons of drugs, tons of torture. And I think Fulgrim is a demon Primarch right now.
Whoa.
And oh god, I
Snake.
am terrified to see what that man looks like.
Ugh.
At least on the tabletop, because the Emperor's Children are not good people. You've got the Iron Warriors, which are kind of like opposite of the Imperial Fists, with Primarch Perturabo, I believe is his name. They're Chaos Undivided. They just kind of serve Chaos in a general aspect instead of choosing one of the 4. But the Iron Warriors are big on the siege and fortification, and they're basically entirely against the Imperial Fists and are a major rival. Perturabo, I believe, is also still alive, and I'm also very interested to see what he looks like, because Demon Primarchs are badass. You've got the Night Lords with Primarch Conrad Kurz. Conrad Kurz is dead, which is good because he's a sick fuck.
Oh, never
But the
mind.
Night Lords are
Not
generally
rest
about
in peace.
terrorizing people and terrorism. They're generally about fear.
Rest in torture in hell. Anyways.
Rightly so. You've got the World Eaters with Primarch Angron, still alive. Also excited to see.
Look at his head.
Angron. If you think you've known an angry person, Angron is the angriest son of a bitch you will ever know. Angron removed parts of his brain that didn't make him angry, so he could be angrier. Angron. Fucker's mad.
Angron.
You've got Death Guard with Primarch Mortarion.
That's me
They
when
actually
I
have
played
their own
Total
special
Warhammer
codex
3.
and their own major army on the tabletop. Mortarion himself is actually one of the models, and look at him. Look at him. It's so cool looking. Of course, Nurgle
It's so
face, obviously.
colorful.
So very slow, but very tanky. You've got the Word Bearers with Primarch Lorgar. Lorgar is, I believe, still alive. I don't know what's up with him at the current moment, but the Word Bearers are generally the people who caused all the major problems in the beginning. At least I blame them for it. They're little assholes. You got the Black Legion with Primarch Horus.
Ooh, the
Get fucked,
emo
nerd.
legion.
You've got the Alpha Legion with Primarch Alfarius Omegon.
Ooh,
Chaos,
aquatic.
I think. And then finally, you've got the Thousand
wet.
Sons of Primarch Magnus the Nerd. The Thousand Sons also have their own book just with the Death Guard. Magnus is also a tabletop model. He looks super cool, as you
Whoa,
can tell.
wait, he
and
does
they're all
look cool.
super heavily Psyker and kind of Egyptian themed. They look pretty neat. But overall, with all of these Chaos Space Marine
Magnus the
factions,
nerd.
you can play as a lot of different ones, but the main ones that you can really work at are standard Space Marines, Chaos Space Marines, as well as
Yeah,
the
the
Death Guard
nipple
and Thousand
tusk
Sons,
got
as
the
they are
good
the
touch.
most fleshed out, especially on the tabletop at least. See this right here? This is a really good way to describe the Chaos Space Marines. What the thick-headed fools with their broken corpse of an emperor fail to understand is that not only can they never defeat us, but they cannot hide or flee or shield themselves from the triumph of chaos. They are finite and we are unbound, undivided. They must not err, or they shall fall to heresy. All
I'm hearing a lot of heretics speak right now.
Thal join our cause. Every imperial fool who dares to open his eyes is a willing recruit. They strive merely to hold back our fury and might, and it consumes them. Thus, you can see chaos is inevitable. We lurk not only beyond their grasp and at their gates, we lurk within the darkness of their souls, on the tip of their tongues, in their tortured dreams. We are them, but freed from the shackles of ignorance. We are them, grown strong, evolved. We are them, but so much more. As hardcore as that quote is, the saddest part is they're mostly right. Chaos is basically unkillable. You could probably get rid of Space Marines a decent amount, the Chaos Space Marines that is, but every soul that dies goes to the warp. Every Chaos soul will end up back in the warp. And depending on how hard you killed them, they will come back at some point. Every demon you banish will return at some point. Chaos is unstoppable. The warp is unending. And while maybe there is at some point some way to stop them somehow, the resources to do so, the requirements to do so, are so far beyond the reaches of man and the other races at the current moment that really it's just an unstoppable force that just keeps on coming and it's just barely
Sounds
being
like
slowed.
never-ending
Chaos
torture.
is by far the biggest threat. They
That is
are
OP.
without number, their legions are everywhere, and yeah, they're pretty scary. So, I promise, we're done with humans now. Let's talk about some Xenos.
Xenos.
So let's talk
yeah.
about the Eldar, or also known as the Eldari, which are a super hyper-specialized and very technologically advanced race of, well, elf
I mean,
people.
I
They
kinda-
were as
I
well
don't like the
responsible for
armor
the
design.
creation of Slanesh, the newest demon god. How'd they do that? Debauchery on a world-ending scale. So back in the day, it was just Khorne, Tzeentch, and Nurgle. And the Eldar are very, very ancient.
So they were so horny. they birthed a new god. Because they were so... They need Jesus anyways.
Millions of years. These Eldar, however,
I mean,
have a bit of a
the Emperor
sensory
God guy.
You know, every kind of
His
pain
name.
or feeling that you have is a little bit amplified compared to the normal. However, with Eldar, as their race advanced so excessively and they became so self-reliant and everything became so easy, there was no requirement for food production anymore. There was no shortages. Everything was basically done.
These guys need a bonk so strong it sends them through the warp 1 million times. Anyways.
Everyone was so comfortable, and that comfort breeded this weird sedation, and that sedation breeded the requirement for more and more debauchery.
Debauchery!
Debauchery! Debauchery!
When everything you have can be so easily acquired, you will end up down this road of pure debauchery. All of the senses the Eldar had that were so powerful, things like feeling, happiness, sadness, and just evil and good, all needed to be satisfied and satiated. And the desire to satiate these senses grew more and more.
Now what did we learn today, last souls? Stay pure. That is what we learned today.
With worse and worse debauchery. It started off with things like sex and
she's
drugs
beautiful.
becoming so much more rampant because these are the first things you generally turn to when requirements for living are so easily accessible. it would get to the point that made Sander Cohen in BioShock look sane. All right, this is the kind of debauchery it led to. It was constantly
BioShock
satisfying
spoilers?
and satiating these sexual and sadistic or masochistic fantasies that only
She's pretty.
elevated and elevated. And this was species-wide. People started going down darker, more depraved, and more violent paths as time went on. However, some people didn't entirely take to that. Some of the Eldar were looking at this depraved species that they had become and said, no thanks for me, dog, I'm good. And they bailed. These are the Craft World Eldar. They left on these giant continent-sized starships called
hate
Craft World.
this armor.
They believed in learning the old ways of the Eldar and pushing away from this depravity and debauchery and going back to their main roots. And so they would segment themselves on these giant craft worlds far in the outer reaches of space. They even had this thing called the Webway. Remember what we mentioned about warp travel with the Imperium? Well, the Eldar have something way safer called a Webway. And the Eldar Webway is actually like a pocket dimension kind of thing. And in that pocket dimension, there were also more horrible, depraved groups and clans that would spend their time in there. And if you imagine the debauchery was bad already, these were
What is wrong with
debauchery
these guys?
X10. So all of this continued, and it bloated until Slaanesh just burst forth. All that emotion, all that mental, well, thought processes, I suppose, all of this in such a condensed space. Don't forget, this is all being shot.
They gooned so hard that they birthed a god. Do you think it would ever get to that point? Let's say in like 1 million years.
All their souls as well.
Like us right
into the
now,
warp.
in 1 million years.
All of this depravity right into the warp. So what happened? Boom. Slaanesh was birthed and killed off 90% of the entire Eldar population.
Goodness.
Untold
Well, they kind of deserved it.
Trillions
They
had their
deserved it.
souls ripped from their bodies and their actual fleshy bodies devoured by Slaanesh demons. The entirety of the Eldar race was eaten alive and their souls consumed to the Prince of Pleasure. All of them got
They deserved
fucked
it.
up. It was so
deserve it.
bad that it literally ripped a warp hole into the fabric of the Materium called the Eye of Terror. That's literally this like quasi horrifying gateway portal from the Materium and the Immaterium right next to Cadia.
Don't think too hard about this one. Because the more you think about it, the more that these people deserve that. That's all I'll say.
And it is horrifying. So this Slaanesh, also known as She Who Thirsts by the Eldar, slaughtered the entire population except for a couple. Those in the craft worlds were actually not affected by this as they were so far in the reaches of the galaxy. That crazy crack, that birth of Slaanesh only affected the ones in the center. So these craft world Eldar were able to escape, but Slaanesh got their sights on them. Every time an Eldar will die, their soul doesn't just pass into the warp naturally. It goes straight to Slaanesh, craft world or not. What about those people in the Webway? Well, imagine that giant birth happening, but they were only able to just barely get a grasp onto you. Slaanesh was just barely able to hold on. These people are the Dark Eldar, or also known as the Drukhari. The Eldar population right now is so massively small. It is minuscule compared to any of the other most of the other populations in the universe. The Eldar are consistently having issues trying to get their population up because as their souls are constantly being hungered by from Slaanesh, they realize their entire species is doomed. and they understand it very well. Since the time of the fall, our race has been haunted by what we, in our reckless pursuit of hedonistic indulgence, gave birth to. Though our dreams once overturned worlds and quenched suns, we are now but fitful shadows clinging to the edge of existence. All the stars in the sky cannot blot out the hateful glare of the red moon's eye. The birthing place of the great enemy pulses with all the malice of a demon that is dreaming, casting its shadow over all we have ever done and all we ever shall. Every twisted strand of fate and casting of the runes leads me to this time, to this place, and it is clear that the final battle awaits me at the ancient Crone worlds, a conflict the likes of which has not been seen since the Monkai warred amongst themselves and their corpse of a seer fell to his traitorous son. Is coming, and all my steps lead towards it, no matter that I walk other paths. I see the stars stained red with the blood of the Monkai, and though their wars do not concern me, I would gladly let them destroy one another. I know that to avoid this fight is to condemn my race to inevitable doom, and though all I see is darkness, I know that I will not flinch from my destiny.
Okay, this guy is not a bad guy.
Bro, I'm straight up not having a good time.
The first playable race we have for the Eldar are the Craft World Eldar and living in those Craft World starships I mentioned earlier. And each of them have their own kind of Craft World, almost like a Space Marine Legion. Each Craft World is in itself its own special kind of group. And the Eldar themselves are very fast and rely a lot on trickery. They are squishy, a bit weak, but they're very in tune as psychers.
He calls us what? Okay, well, I mean, at least he can acknowledge that, like, what they did was bad, right? I don't know. Primitive and disgusting? Well, I mean, they're like 10 times worse.
Tons of psychers across the entire Eldar population, and their weaponry and abilities are fast and extremely hard-hitting, but of course rather fragile. Understanding an Eldar's brain is an exercise in futility. They are all over the place in confusion and trickery on a whole galactic scale. They fight weird, they think weirder, and Eldar in their own right really rely on this to keep their species alive. They need to think about deception and strangeness of what they do if they truly want to not be immediately murdered and slaughtered wholesale, thanks to their entirely small population. However, I must say that it seems like their population is getting slightly better. These craft worlds hold millions upon millions of people. And as they continually, reproduce and have their craft worlds expand, losing a few people in battle, while hurts a lot, they aren't really losing what's extremely precious to them. It's not like every single death means the death of their species. It seems like they're kind of on the upturn a little bit. They're still a doomed race being sucked into Slaanesh every time someone dies, but they are definitely doing a little bit better than they were before. Eldar are fast, cunning.
Wait! Eldar elves? Wait! Yeah, they should all die. Now that I know that, and then I double down.
And what they don't make up for in tankiness, they make up for in extremely advanced weaponry. They also call humans Monkai, which is something I mentioned earlier. That is a derogatory slur for humans in the Warhammer world. Why is it called Monk?
My intuition was right. My intuition was right. They should all die.
Well, it's because you can't, in your game, call people monkeys. On the tabletop, exactly what I said. Not very tanky, generally pretty squishy.
Thanks for the super chat, Zig.
Trucks and move at Mach 5. Fast, hit hard, die fast. Exactly how it sounds. They've been good for a very long time, too.
Lulu can sniff out an elf a mile away. Yeah, my intuition was correct.
Bring only death and leave only carry on. It is a message even a human can understand. Eldar. So, Drukhari. Let's talk about the Dark Eldar.
On today's episode of How Fucked Up is Fucked Up. That's fucked up.
She's kind of hot
those
though,
people
but
I mentioned in the webway, in the super deranged cults and the depraved people of the Eldar, in the webway, they didn't quite get a hold onto them. Slaanesh like has them, but it has them on like by the pinky finger. And they're slowly being consumed by Slaanesh, but they found out they can stave her off by doing Slaanesh things. The Dark Eldar are by far the worst, most horrifying, disgusting, depraved.
How did I know? How did I know that these guys were bad news? Oh my goodness. I'm a genius.
And brutal race in all of Warhammer 40k. These are entirely a group of people whose full purpose to save their species from extinction, to go into planets, raid them, and take as many slaves as they possibly can to torture them for 1, 5, 10, 20, a million years.
I knew
because
it!
that torture will keep them from dying. They look very BDSM style too. They definitely have a lot more
Selfish
spiky bits and they have a lot
knife
more of that kind of
ears.
leathery black look to them. But let's say you are an upstanding Imperial citizen, living life on a regular planet. You get invaded by the Necrons. The Necrons will shoot you with a deatomizer and you will be destroyed in a millisecond.
Ooh,
And
yeah, that
that's it.
sounds like a much better
The worst way to
death.
go. You are invaded by Chaos Marines or something. You take a bolter shot to the head or a chain sword
Yeah, that's
across
pretty
your
good.
stomach and you get cut in half. Painful, but not the worst.
This
The
is quick.
orcs arrive. They beat you to death. Hurts, but, you know, whatever. Tyranids, they eat you alive.
Oh, that's
Rough.
not good. That's
The
rough.
Dark Eldar. The Dark
That's
Eldar.
rough.
This is going to get a little graphic.
Oh my
I apologize.
goodness.
You pray you die. You
La,
don't.
la, la, la,
You
la,
are
la,
instead taken as a
continue.
human
La, la,
slave.
la, la, la.
Your life will be endless work and agony, 24/7. They will make sure you can't not die, as your pain satisfies them. They will hook you up to all manner of torture devices. They will inject.
How did I know that? The instant they came on screen, I said boo. How did I know? Oh my goodness, is that Miwa? Hi, Miwa.
Pain-based like stimuli drugs directly into your nervous system. They will slowly
No, fuck
run
these
razor
guys.
blades across
Excuse
your
my,
skin. They will fillet you
French.
and just pull out your teeth
Derogatory.
and your fingernails one by one. They
What
will
the
remove your
hell?
appendages and your skin and wait for it to grow.
Everyone should hate elves just from hearing this. You know what? This reinforces my hate for high elves and Elder Scrolls. It's not even related to this. I just don't like elves at all. I've always been an elf hater. Anyways.
Roll back so they can do it again. They will murder and torture and use the R word, it rhymes with grape, your entire family in front of you and do the exact same thing to them.
I
You
knew
yourself
it. I knew it. These.
will also be
Fuck
rhymes
these
with
guys.
grape anywhere and everywhere possible. And this will occur for 20 years until
Kill
you are no
them
longer
all.
satisfying to them. And then you will be contorted, crushed, and twisted into some form of trophy. A fleshy trophy, or a ring, or a couch, or a TV stand, or perhaps a wonderful hat. While you are,
make
of
me
course,
into a
still
cowboy
alive
hat.
and breathing. And you will become a moaning, fleshy trophy for eternity.
Oh.
And that
I'd like to be a
is what
cowboy
happens
hat
when
for
you are
like
taken.
like if I was taken, if I didn't get to choose, and they were like, "Which item would you want to be?" I choose a cowboy hat.
The Dark Eldar. They are the most depraved, most horrifying race in all of 40k. They look the part, and they do it so they all don't die. They are literally forced to do this, because if they don't, Slaanesh's grip will get harder, and they will have their souls pulled.
Oh my goodness! Please, Queen, take them, destroy them, destroy them, destroy them all, Queen, please.
Way. So long as they keep doing
I
this,
beg you.
Slaanesh is like, "You're doing good, man. You're doing solid. You keep that shit up, you elf-eared bastards." That's the Dark Eldar. That's the Drukhari.
Never mind. You know what? Fuck
They are
them too.
horrible. On the tabletop,
Now that I
they're
know
actually
that-
kind of like Eldar, but
She
more
should just
extreme.
kill them all. Should just kill them all anyways. They're her rivals, okay? Slanesh, kill them.
They are even squishier than the Eldar, but they hit generally
They're not
even harder.
victims. They're not victims. They're not victims simply because they have pointy ears.
Attacks, skirmishers, really quick, speedy, like get around them, do a lot of damage, get away kind of stuff. That's most of the Dark Eldar. Look up the definition of Grim Dark in a dictionary. You'll find a picture of the Dark Eldar. And Sev from Republic Commando. A quote
Oh my goodness, Star
from
Wars?
Mr. Vecht. We are the lords of despair, masters of terror. Dread and agony are our meat and wine, and they are plentiful indeed. Dark Eldar. Let's talk about the Harlequins. Clowns.
What's the matter, Andy? Don't you want to have some fun?
The Harlequins are a bizarre race of Eldar. They're demonic clown performers. They're like a weird mix of Sander Cohen from BioShock and Jin from League of Legends, but in a more clown theme. They're artists.
Why would you even say that? Why would you even say that word in my ears? Anyways.
Of death and perfecters of their craft. They do not belong to Craft Worlds or any of the weird Drukhari people. They guard something called the Black Library, which is this giant tome of never-ending knowledge deep in the heart of the Eldar Webway, and also guarded by their god named Kegorok, I believe is how you pronounce his name. He is the laughing god, but it's the Eldar's laughing god? And these are the Harlequins, the Harlequin clowns. These are Eldar clowns, okay? So imagine the things that an Eldar, these depraved individuals, would find funny. And this is the god of that. It's a horror clown. These are gods of horror for us normal people.
Cool.
For them, they're like, oh, it's so funny. They're all dying horribly. They're very bizarre and difficult to describe. They've escaped the ruinous powers of Slanesh somehow. But their main thing is guarding that Black Library, and the Harlequins just...
Okay, they're not too bad.
They're demon clown performers. They're barely any models on the
They look
tabletop.
cool.
They're good in melee. They're demon clowns. I'm not sure. I got a
look
quote.
like punk rock
It is
clowns.
too easy for an Eldar to embrace the obscene virtues of chaos. For Slanesh is nothing more than a manifestation of the Eldar mind in its most wild and unconstrained form. Human morality is meaningless to the Eldar, and to the dark side of the Eldar mind, all life is to be expended at a whim. Cruelty and generosity are but the impulse of a moment. Beauty and sensuality are virtues that can be expressed in bloodshed just as easily as in song. To an unfettered Eldar mind, there is neither sanity nor madness, but merely a wave of perfect existence fulfilled by its own savage momentum. They're very strange. Harlequins,
I don't like them
Eldar,
either.
they are an anomaly that make humans seem completely easy to understand in comparison. They range from rekindling their civilization.
Thank you for the $20 super chat. Craftworld lived because they pieced out early on. Harlequins lived because their specific god escaped and protects them. Dark Elder lived because they're the best at Slanesh stuff, and she keeps them alive because of it. Okay. So Corn is still
horrifying murder
my favorite.
And also clowns. They're all over the place, but honestly, they represent quite well and are rather interesting, especially with the whole Slanesh murdering everyone bit. So, yeah.
Slanesh should murder all of them.
Bugs.
Ma, they following me, Ma. They following me.
Bugs!
The bugs.
The bug!
The Tyranids. Now, you want to talk something a lot more fun, a little more simple than all this crazy Eldar shenanigans? Let's talk about the Tyranids. They're bugs. Do they look like Zerg? Hell yeah, they look like Zerg. You want to know why they look like Zerg? Because they were actually supposed to be what Zerg were. Apparently StarCraft was supposed to be a 40k game in the beginning, hence why they look so much like Eldar, Zerg, and the Imperium of Man. Like, kind of Space Marine-y, those Marines, huh? They look a little bit Space Marine-y to me. Maybe. I don't know.
They do.
You really fucked up on that one, Games Workshop, didn't ya? Tyranids are a giant infestation of
Look at this art,
unfathomable
though.
proportions. These
This
are
art's awesome.
giant, extremely bio-advanced hive mind organisms that are basically all about absorbing as much biomass as they possibly can to evolve and mutate to be extremely potent and powerful and kill and eat anything in their path. They are
Whoa.
probably the
Whoa!
least evil.
Wait! Look how detailed this art is. Oh my goodness, this looks awesome. Anyways.
Faction in all of 40K because all they want to do is eat shit. They want to nom nom the entire galaxy. They hangry and we food. Also, this
yummy.
Tyranid hive mind has a presence in the warp. In fact, Tyranids in their own right have a massive presence in the warp. They have a thing called the shadow in the warp specifically, where when they are coming in to invade a planet, they have this weird ability to kind of cut off the warp on all the psychers on that planet. And how do you get help across the stars? Well, you need the warp because you need that for interstellar travel. So with people unable to call for help from the Tyranids, these are just easy pickings. And an entire giant Tyranid hive fleet comes out of orbit and just
So, can they go and eat the elves? Can they go and eat the elves?
massacre, absorbing all that biomass and turning them and all of their other Tyranids into even more advanced monsters. They come in so many varieties too, all based on what is important. Tiny little ripper swarms for scouting and having little dudes eat people up, to the Hormigons, Termagants,
I think they should
Gene
specifically
Stealers, all the way
target the
to
elves
Hive
because of
Guard
their
and
knife
Exocrines and
ears.
the Swarm Lord, to Hive Tyrants and their giant battle fleets, and even something as crazy as the Hierophant Bio Titan. The Tyranids come in all forms and sizes
Oh,
depending
that
on what
one
they
looks
require.
so
They are
cool.
extremely good at anti-biological weaponry. There is no way you can plague them or blight them. They have extremely strong armor, carapaces and such. Tyranids are nigh
Oh my
perfect
goodness.
organisms.
Wait, this is
and
super
are pretty
cool.
spooky when it comes down to how they handle all of their genetic material. Keep feeding them, they'll keep evolving. They keep on creating new horrifying organisms to spread across the galaxy. And you want to know what the most terrifying part of the Tyranids is? We might be surrounded. There have been around 6 or 7 Tyranid hive fleets. Behemoth, Kronos, all these different kinds of hive fleets. And they've all arrived in the galaxy from different points. Different sections of the Milky Way galaxy have had different Tyranids come through. And that is horrifying.
Okay.
Because as far as we know, we could just be surrounded on all sides by Tyranids. The only reason you may not hear a whole lot about Tyranids is because it's a little bit hard to have a bunch of story off of one hive mind
Tyranids seem
genocidal
cool.
monsters. All these
One of my
giant
favorites
bugs
so far.
swarming in, killing and eating everybody and evolving. I mean, as cool as there are, there's some cool characters, the Swarm Lord, Old One Eye. You can't really have a whole bunch of major character-based stories around them. As awesome as they are, they're simple.
Just out of curiosity, why hast thou disliked elves? Because I don't like... Okay, my hatred of elves started with the High Elves from Elder Scrolls. And then, like, the hatred started building from there. Because I didn't like how arrogant they were and how... I don't know. I don't like how they look. I think they're ugly. Anyways.
They want to eat you. They want to eat you and absorb your biomass. They are simple bugs. If you want something a little more complex, talk Gene Stealer cults.
I can have all the pot I want. I get around.
Thank you for the super chat. Ricky, welcome to Warhammer. As a lore master, we welcome you to the hobby. If you have any questions, I'll try to answer them. Okay.
Faster than walking, and wherever I need a seat, I can just sit
Got
on my
it.
balls.
Gene Stealer cults are a special brand of Tyranid
Ow.
that can slowly infect.
I think you talked about this. Like, sometimes you accidentally sit on your family jewels as a man. Sometimes. And that sounds painful.
themselves into different kinds of society, and by infecting them they can rise up to where they all pray and believe in these regular humans, pray and believe into their Tyranid hive mind gods. And these brood lords, and I think they're called patriarchs, all can turn an entire world all based into gene stealers, and these are called gene stealer cults. An
Oh.
entire hive world of the
Wait,
Imperium can be
hybrid?
turned into nothing but servants to the Tyranid masters
Tyranids?
just by infecting them and screwing with their genetic code a little bit.
Wait,
They also have
that's
this
so
cool, like,
cool.
Mad Max look. which
Wait,
is really
the-
neat.
the-
They are
the
definitely one of the
Tyranids
bigger
are, like, the
threats to
best
Imperium
ones.
besides Chaos. I keep saying biggest threat to the Imperium.
This
They're
one's
up
like the
there,
best
though,
one so
because
far.
you, dingus, stepped on a bug in middle school. Asshole. There is a cancer eating at the Imperium. With each decade, it advances deeper, leaving drained, dead worlds in its wake. This horror, this abomination, has thought and purpose that functions on an unimaginable galactic scale. And all we can do is to try to stop the swarms of bioengineered monsters it unleashes upon us by instinct. We have given the horror a name to salvage our fears. We call it the Tyranid race. But if it is aware of us, it must know us as nothing but prey. Tyranids, they're cool. But are they as cool as the orcs?
The orcs! Hold on, I'm gonna check my Twitch activity for a second, because it keeps not showing up for me, unfortunately, and I don't know why. Anyways, Cherno, thank you for the bits. There is a group of Aldari called the Exodites. They ride the dinosaurs. Really? Oh my goodness. Imansis. Clearly Nurgle is lust. Have some taste. Nurgle! Nurgle! Nurgle looks like Jabba the Hutt! What do you mean? There are 2 additional temples of assassins. One for poisoning and one for intel. Also, Billy, thank you for the subscription. Wah! Hi, lurkers. Sorry, I'm pausing it. Yeah! I'm reading stuff that I missed. Anyways, I'm unpausing right now.
I'm super fast.
Orcs, 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 orcs. I fucking love orcs. So, yes, the green monsters, the green tide, the green skins. These orcs, they are in fact a race in 40k. The orcs are as exactly what you expect them. They have archaic weapons, they're big boys, they have axes, and they have got big old teeth, and they want to kill everything, and there are so many of them. The only reason they haven't taken over the entire galaxy is they can't stop murdering each other. Orcs are so cool.
Awesome.
Orcs don't have philosophy.
It's a pirate
Orcs don't
orc.
have existential crisis. What matters is who's the biggest orc. You listen to that guy, because he the biggest orc.
they're
He big
himbo's.
orc. Big orc knows best. You win through the power of
Big orc
imagination.
knows best.
Of all the races I have battled throughout the galaxy, the orc is the hardest to comprehend. They wage war with machines that should not work, care little for strategic gains, and are just as likely to slaughter each other as the enemy. How does one battle an enemy that defies all logic? As an orc, you're enjoying life. You're enjoying.
Thank you for the super chat. Hey Lulu, if I see yourself wanting to build or pay Warhammer kids, we would be more than happy to sponsor. Really? Ooh, I don't know which
the
I'd
life
choose.
you're
Maybe
given. Your whole life and job and purpose is
The
to get up
knits.
and beat each other to death because you can. The biggest orc is the man who understands everything. He is the
Orca.
boss. And orcs have this really weird, like, big, dumb, stereotype British accent, which is just hilarious to me. Those are orcs.
dropped. Dropped. Just kidding.
You fight. You like to fight. Your whole purpose is to fight. You wage war because you want to wage war. You got your boss over there, and you better listen to the boss, because if you don't listen to the boss will squish you and make you an example for the other orcs. And then you can't fight because orc dead. And orc dead can't fight because orc dead. Orcs. They scrap together machines out of parts that don't make any sense, and because they believe, they have the mental imagination that
orcs.
that machine will run, it'll run. If that machine's out of gas, you're
Whoa.
driving that machine with your fellow orcs, and the biggest orc is behind the wheel, and you run out of gas, some orc behind you is like, oh, Zog, we're out of gas. And the big orc is like, no, we're not. I filled the fucking
Wait.
gas tank up earlier. And all the other orcs are like, oh yeah,
Really?
you did do that. And then you turn the fucking mech back on, and it works again.
What?
Does it have gas?
What?
Probably not, but it works. through the power of imagination. They paint
Wait.
things red because it makes them think they goes faster. They paint
Wait, I
things
like
purple
this.
because it's the
I love
snakiest color.
imagination.
You want to know why? You ever seen a purple orc? Didn't fucking think so. Orcs are also like ancient as hell. They're back in the Eldari time frame. But back then they were called Krorks, and they were much larger and scarier and far more intelligent. Now they're just orcs, and they're big, dumb, and they smack things. But they're pretty spooky. They're not very well armored,
good at
but they
imagining
hit really
things.
hard. And it's called the Green Tide because there are so many orcs. There are about as many orcs as there are Tyranids. Maybe more.
Oh.
Who knows? But they keep on, you know, murdering each other, so it's not too bad of an issue. Orcs are entirely comic relief. Their stuff is slapped together that makes no sense. Their vehicles don't...
But it works because of imagination. I like these guys.
work the way they're supposed to, but they work because they think it works, because they imagine that it works. Orcs care only about who is the biggest orc, and they will follow the biggest orc.
I like the pirate
and if they want
ones.
to be the biggest orc, they'll challenge the biggest orc. And then when they go and they issue a wah is just war in orc, they murder everybody and everything in this giant tide of green orcs who are just excited to be hitting something. They don't care that they're hitting Eldar or the Imperium or Tau or anyone in between. They're just so they get to beat shit up. That's orcs. And on the tabletop, they are a total coin flip, and they're really fun. I have never met a salty orc player. I have never met someone who plays orcs and is ever just a bad guy or that guy. Orc players have this kind of fun to them because when you play them, you are completely submitting yourself to RNG. So here's the thing. Guardsmen, Imperial Guardsmen, when they shoot, they roll a dice, and on a 4 up, they'll hit their target. They have a 50% chance. Space Marines, pretty good. They hit on a 3 or higher because they're well trained. Adeptus Custodians,
Not
they
too
hit
bad.
on 2s because they're just super well trained. Orcs, they hit on a 5 or higher. But if they roll a 6, they get to make another shot with anything, from the dinkiest pistol to the biggest rocket launcher. It doesn't matter. Half of their stuff will blow up on a whim. One of their medics, if you roll a 1 to heal someone, you fuck up.
I will say I'm a very unlucky cowgirl, so this may not be for me. But it sounds really fun to play, though. Anyways. Oh, they roll 120 dice at a time? Oh, then you should be fine, unless you're just really, really unlucky like I am.
Your surgery and you just kill an orc. They're so wacky and silly. But the thing is if you roll well, you roll high, and you keep rolling high, you are going to crush people. And if you don't, you lose. I mean, that's what you get when you play orcs. That's what happens when you play orc. It's a coin flip. Which is why you can't be a salty bitch when you play orcs, because things won't go your way.
Wait, do people genuinely get salty over this?
Roll the dice. You're playing a dice game. But if you're gonna have fun, and you want to be stupid, and you want to be silly, you're gonna play some damn orcs. But on the opposite side of the fun part of this, let's talk about the Necrons.
Oh, Necrons.
The Necrons are spooky, scary skeletons and very grimdark again. They have a much more fleshed out lore than before. Back in the day, they were just undead Egyptian space terminators, and they still look that way, but now they actually have a story. So way back in the day, you had the Necron tier. Kind of see a theme here: Eldari, Eldar, Krork, Orc, Necron, Necron tier. So the Necron tier were this race of
these are the Necron guys.
Kind of shitty people. Not because they were personally shitty, because their lives were awful. They were ill-fated to a horrible existence of like radiation and a terrible planet they lived on, and everything just really sucked. Being a Necron tier was just really depressing. They really were looking for immortality. They were extremely reliant on the hope that they would eventually find the key to living forever and to stave off this horrible nature that they were thrust upon them, and therefore they could become the most dominant race in the galaxy. And they found this group. They're called the Old Ones. Imagine them kind of like the Forerunners in Halo or the Xel'Naga in StarCraft, right? These Old Ones were these strong, pretty much omnipotent beings, and they, of course, knew the key to immortality. So the Necrons went to them and said, please,
You mentioned Halo and my attention is grabbed.
show us your ways. And the old ones said, piss off. Not really, they were a lot more humble about it, but they did not want to share their secret of immortality with the Necrons. The Necrons, of course, took this very well and waged war with them, kind of under this united banner. The Necron different dynasties didn't really like each other, but under this one man, the Silent King, he thought the...
Wait, is it the guy from? He looks like the guy from Star Wars whenever he's like, "Hello there." Anyways,
best way to unite his race was to do this giant war with the old ones out of spite for them keeping the secret of immortality.
General
to them.
Grievous!
This was known as the War in Heaven, and this is actually like a multi-stage war, because during this war in heaven, they discovered the Star Gods, a whole new race of people known as the Catan, or the Catan. These Star Gods were also very much like old ones, almost omnipotent beings, and they too had the key to immortality. And so the Necrons went to them and said, hey, can you help us?
wait, we just saw this guy in dispatch. We just saw this guy's sensor dingling in dispatch. Anyway,
Fight off the old ones. Can you help us kill these old ones? You, the Catan. And the Catan said yes. And in fact, we can help provide you with the immortality you so desperately seek. So the Silent King of the Necrons decided to make a pact with the Catan to allow them to accept this generous gift of immortality upon them. But this, of course, had been a horrendous trap, and the Necrons were dragged in chains to this biotransference where their flesh was stripped from them, replaced with nothing but a metal hollow shell, as their souls were ripped from their body and fed to the Catan. And the Catan fattened up. They got chonk on the souls of the Necrons. As this was their plan all along, they consumed the flesh and souls of the Necron tier and turned them all into unwilling robotic slaves just to serve their will. And then, with their new-founded Necron army, they pointed their guns at the old ones, and the Catan continued their domination of the stars and their genocide, complete and full genocide of these old ones. The old ones did their best to stave it off. They even created other races, the Eldari and the Orcs, to try to fight off the horrifying Necron army and the Catan above them. But there was absolutely no possible chance for them. And the old ones were absolutely extinguished across the galaxy. Their entire race completely removed.
These guys are pretty strong.
100% genocide. However, during all this, the Catan, so just
anything with the
infatuated with
orcs,
their
please.
victory, started fighting each other for fun, for sport, and for small differences, doesn't matter. The Catan, with these overpowered people, they're going to eventually hit each other at some point. And as they began just menially fighting each other, the Eldari and the Orcs actually started pushing on the Catan's borders a little bit, giving them a little bit of a run for their money. And as this continued, this is when the Silent King, who retained his consciousness, decided to leap into action and start a full-scale revolt against their Catan masters.
I'm sorry.
And this revolt was bloody, as the entire Necron army was served.
All I see is General Grievous.
First off to destroy these star gods. They were able to, just after suffering horrendous losses, were able to turn the tide of the war. And they took these Catan and they blasted them. Because as these star gods are unkillable, they were able to break them into thousands of shards and entrap them in giant stasis vaults to now actually be slaves to the Necrons. And with the Necrons having the entirety of their old gods enslaved to them, they realized that soon their race was about to be attacked by the overcoming new races, the Eldari and the Krorks. And so what they did is they retreated into giant stasis tombs in order to preserve their energy and their strength for when one day they would be reawakened and they would be able to rule the galaxy that was rightfully theirs. And then some dingus Adeptus Mechanicus
General Kenobi is here.
sky, diddled with a green console,
Kenobi!
and now the Necrons are
Obi-Wan!
back, and they see all these
That's
primitive
him!
races on their lawns, and they think, get the fuck off of it. The Necrons are back, super advanced, and they are here to reclaim the galaxy that they so rightfully believe is theirs. Now, at tabletop, they're a lot like that. Tons of undead Egyptian skeleton robots that when they
Ooh.
die, they just
They
get
look
right
so
back up because
cool.
they keep on reanimating. Hard to kill, tons of
They also remind me of the skeletons from Ninjago. If you get that reference, I like you. Anyways.
crazy stuff. You can use the Catan themselves as units to fight with. It's pretty cool. The Necrons are one of the three major events in 40k. The Horus Heresy, the Fall of the Eldar, and the Awakening of the Necrons are all pretty substantial events. And the Necrons themselves are pretty dang cool as well. Here's a good quote from a wonderful Dawn of War game.
Listen, I love Ninjago, okay? Like, it was inevitable of me seeing... I'm sorry, am I ruining Necrons for you?
Lucky creatures, as long last you have found the tranquility of death. I was like you once, clinging to life and blind to the truth. When I uncovered the truth, I too shuddered and paled with fear. Deep in these catacombs, I was remade. Here, my brethren slumbered for eons while the living grew like weed. My Lord knew this day would come. He had plans for us all. We would purge this world once more. So come, poor victims of life. We will grant you tranquility in these crypts. Kronos will be a tomb world once more. Necrons are also pretty smug. Praising the Infinite especially.
Mr. Steal Your Girl!
But speaking of
Mr. Steal Your Obi-Wan Kenobi.
dickheads, last race, let's talk the Tau.
I mean, I can see, like, why.
The exact formation of the Tau Empire is not
I mean, I can see why they're like, Mr. Steal Your Girl. Like, I get it. Like, you know, some girls like skeleton guys, I guess.
entirely understood. However, a long time ago, many thousands of years ago, in the 40k world that is, some
like
Imperial
this now.
navigation vessels were going around through different areas.
Hold on
and
one
they
second. That there. Dang it! Sad. No, it just fell like randomly. No, I didn't drop you.
saw a primitive race, blue people smacking each other with sticks and stones.
My
They
light's
thought,
fine.
Nah, dumb Xenos race, who gives a shit, and they bailed. Then this giant warp storm occurred
Oh my
right
goodness,
in
anime
that
girl.
major area, unable to be breached. Then, once that warp
No, it
storm
didn't break.
6,000
Don't
years
worry,
later
it's plastic.
subsided, hello, those little sticks. Well, they decided to actually have no war of any kind and all just unite together under one
okay.
flag of the Tau Empire. And now they have
Okay,
gigantic
Tau.
starships and Gundam robots and lasers and railguns and mechs, and they are here to ruin your day for the
I'm about to ruin. Well, actually, no, you guys are too old to get that reference. I'm not gonna ruin Tau for you.
greater good. That is generally the Tau Empire. They have this kind of feeling of this homogenous group. All species can go underneath the banner of the greater good. The greater good is their idea of the fundamental increase and help of all. In fact, they are most likely the most like the Covenant in Halo,
Ooh,
where they
Halo!
have the
Yes!
overarching prophets, being the ethereals,
I was just
who
about
are
to say that.
actually kind of dicks and like to pull at strings a little bit, but then you have all these different races directly underneath them, and they all work together in this big group as this large, foreboding race that tries to spread their weirdly pseudo-religious influence across the galaxy. The alien is not
Tao's pretty
intrinsically
cool.
evil. Do not hate him. Pity him, his ignorance. Seek to understand his differences and equate him with his inadequacies. Only then will he
Oh,
accept
okay.
his place in the greater good. That is generally the Tau. And if you're kind of wondering like what their mainly big shtick is, well, they're all about
Like-
big robots and mechs. They have laser rifles and rail guns. They got
So they're alien haters. Okay.
giant mechs with tons of missile pods and heavy rail rifles and rail guns and burst cannons and ion accelerators and void shields and all this stuff. And that is generally what the Tau's all about. But you're probably thinking, Bricky, this doesn't sound that evil. This doesn't sound very grim.
It doesn't sound evil on the outside, but what if there's an evil on the inside that we don't know about?
Dark Warhammer. And you'd be right. The Tau Empire really don't have that much of a horrifying, grimdark style like everybody else. They're much more younger, new age thing. In fact, they're probably a lot less evil and a lot even better than they are now back in the day, because they liked having like that good guy faction. But a lot of us who really like the dark, depressing style of Warhammer didn't really like it that much. So, see, the Tau get a lot of hate, and a lot of that hate isn't necessarily unjustified. It's mainly from a tabletop perspective, but...
I mean, okay, like, I get it, but it's different from a lot of the other ones, I guess, and I guess that's why, like, people like it. It's like something new, but I don't know. They're not my favorite. Like, I feel like the design, like, isn't really that unique. There's too much white going on as well. Anyways.
As you can see from all the visuals I've shown you recently, they don't really fit in the 40K universe very well. They lack that super dark, dramatic, kind of high gothic level the Imperium has. They don't have the weird kind of like grungy stuff that Chaos or say the Orcs do. And the Necrons and the Eldar have their own specific style as well. The Tau really do look like something out of Gundam. And while it isn't necessarily a bad thing, it does definitely not fit too well. There's that. There's also the tabletop problem. In tabletop, Tau are horrible at melee combat, but exceptionally good at range combat. So they blast everyone from really, really far away, and they have a million rules to make it so that it's nearly impossible for you to get into melee combat. So it basically just forces you to bottleneck the game into one specific gameplay style, which is gun to gun. And if you're doing
Polaroid, thank you! Thank you for the raid.
Gun to gun, they're gonna win every time because they're the Tau, and the Tau are really damn good at shooting. So it's one of those things that make the Tau generally rather hated, and a lot of
this design is the best one that I've seen.
Both from style and such.
This one.
This is actually one of the things I wanted to end this video with, is that the Tau, while they have their issues,
green.
You should not be discouraged from playing them. I'll make plenty of Tau weeaboo jokes, of course I will, but it's all generally in good fun. Anyone who legitimately doesn't want you to play a faction is an idiot, and you shouldn't be giving them the time of day. You pick what you think.
By the way, if you raiders don't know, I'm LULULASSO, a Y2K Gyaru cowgirl of Texas, and right now we're learning about Warhammer lore because I recently got into Total Warhammer, and now I'm learning about Warhammer 40K, and there's so many cool factions and cool stuff. I've been watching this for a couple hours, and I really, really like it so far. Thank you for the puddle raid! Thank you!
Is cool and what you like. In Warhammer, especially now, factions get better and they get worse. They grow and then they fall. You should only be playing what you think is cool. You like the look, you like the models. If you're talking tabletop, that is what you should be going for every time, is what you think is badass, because things change all the time. But the universe of Warhammer has so much going for it. Every faction has something interesting.
What's your favorite faction? Nids.
Interesting. Every character has a story, and there's a million stories to be told. The universe is vast and exciting, and while it is dark, depressing, and horrible,
Nids and the women. the nun knights.
that is the damn charm. And out of everything I've told you in these two videos, is anything you could take away is the reason why so many of us are so into this series and why we like it so much. Because
I love books.
with so much variety, such an expansive universe, and so much that can be done, you can find yourself having a pretty great time.
I think they're battle sisters of battle, the night nuns. Those are the girls that are like Doom guy but Doom girl, and they like killing the demons. I just don't like the demons, and I also don't like the elves. I mean, I kind like that I forget her name. Slanesh, something like that. I like that she killed the elves. I don't like that. You know what they do.
Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it has been informative to you. If you'd like to see more
Both
of
those
me,
videos are
Bricky,
amazing.
you have twitch.tv/Bricky for my streams. You have my merchandise site in which I was wearing all of my merch, but underneath this because I had to wear this so it wasn't black or white for the green screen, which is a little unfortunate, but it's fine. If you'd like to see merch, it is in the description. Also, if you'd like to support me on my Patreon page at patreon.com/Bricky for more videos like this, then that would also be wonderful. So Twitch, merch, Patreon, anything if you want to support, that would be fantastic.
Promote his
Appreciate it.
stuff.
If not, I'm just stoked you got all the way to the end of the video, and that is enough for me.
I got to the end of
we're
both
gonna have some more
videos.
content like this out in the future. Thank you so
This
much
is so
for
good.
sticking around this long and being with me through this pretty rough time.
Wow.
That's I think all I got. Also, before I go, let me leave you with my favorite Warhammer quote. He who scoffs at the power of the las gun has never ran through a field of 1,000 of them.
Ooh, that's good.
Bye-bye.
I like that. Wow, we made it! Yay! Thank you! Thank you guys for watching that with me and being patient with my small noob brain. I mean, hey, at least some of my intuition was right. Okay? I was right about some things, okay? I was right about some things. Anyways, do you like that? Yeah, you missed it, Brody. I'm sorry. Ah! I'm sorry. It's about to be 1 AM, unfortunately. It's a fun hobby. I really like it. I don't know why. I mean, I really like the Inquisitors. Don't crucify me, please. I just like their outfits. I like the battle ladies, the Doom girls, the ones that kill the demons. I like the bugs, the nids, a lot. The rest, I mean, I like them. But those are the ones that I remember the most. Yeah, the Sisters of Battle. I like the bugs. I think I really liked how detailed the artwork was for the bugs. That's why I like them. And I just think they're really cool. I enjoyed the painting part more than the playing part. How much are, like, the Sisters of Battle figurines? No, I cannot get into this. I cannot spend the money on this. Someone talk me out of it. Talk me out of it. Talk me out of it. Flashbang, by the way. I really like pink, sorry. I really like pink. I don't know if you could tell by the way I was dressed. Buy a house, it's cheaper. All my money goes back to streaming, unfortunately. Thank you for the 14 Australian dollars, Brody. Oh, I need to ring the bell for super chats. Hold on. I'm about to ring the bell for all the super chats I got. There we go. That should be enough. I'm gonna get in trouble. Everyone has work and school tomorrow. Depends on the mini, but some can go as low as 40 USD. Ooh, okay, 40? Not too bad. Don't get into 40k, start drinking, it costs less. Oh, never, never. This may be unbased of me. I refuse to ever get into drinking. Drinking, smoking, or doing drugs. I mean, I probably wouldn't even get into drinking in the first place because, I don't like any other drink other than water. So I hate it. It's like a personal thing, and also I just I don't know. I don't want to get wrinkles early, you know? And like, if I were to have kids in the future, I wouldn't want that temptation of drinking or smoking or doing drugs, like, while, you know. Why is that unbased? Well, because you know how, like, cowboys and cowgirls always in the saloon and they're all drinking and stuff. That's what I mean. Well, I also feel like back then they like really didn't know how bad it was for them. The straight lace movement. Wait. What is this? The straight lace movement is actually based in punk AF when done right. What is a straight lace movement? What is that? No, I wouldn't order milk. I would order water. Nah, just a social stigma point. Yeah. It means straight edge. Oh yeah, I posted a recent short and everyone was saying straight edge, you're straight edge. And I was like, what does straight edge even mean? What does that mean? Is this like some kind of millennial term? Like, I was like, what does straight edge mean? No drinking, no drugs, so just sober. Well, I thought it meant like straight, like your sexuality. Straight edging, no! No, you must stay pure. You must think pure thought! Counterculture, It means you're raw dogging life. I was drunk and end here. We love Lulu. Like, I don't wanna condemn anyone for taking part in drinking. Cause, I mean, people say it's fun. And if you want to do fun things, then you do fun things. But me personally, I stay away. I guess. That inebriates you. I mean... yeah, I can't think of anything that inebriates me other than... Benadryl. I don't know, if you've ever taken Benadryl... Okay, maybe because... I don't know, maybe it affects women more, but... Yeah, you see the Hat Man, and then the next morning I can barely move. Like, I can feel my face when I'm with you, but I love it. That's me and Benadryl. You like the Hat Man? You like the Hat Man visiting you? Can I be honest with you? I've taken so much Benadryl in my life, but I've never seen the Hat Man before. I've never seen the Hat Man in my life. Shocking, I know. Never seen the Hat Man. I have seen the really tall man with horns. And he's like completely I'm just darkness. Be glad. I feel like this man is worse than the Hat Man. Pleasure stopping by, Lulu. Welcome to the hobby. It's it's so fun. Angel Raid. Hi. Wait. Oh my goodness. Hi. I know you. I think I recognize you. I recognize you. You are the Cyber Angel. Hi. Oh, I need to check Twitch. You reminded me. You are... I don't know if I can say that or not, but I know who you are. Hi! Hello! How are you? How's everyone feeling? Are you sleepy? Are you tired? Is it time to go to sleep? I need to check Twitch activity feed. Oh my goodness! Cheerbun, thank you for the raid as well. Tism Enjoyer. The Necrons eternally have to try and not to remember that she can't breathe since she can breathe since they are flesh anymore. Oh wait, really? Or they get a panic attack of biblical proportions. Wait, so they still think they can breathe? Wait, that's crazy. I didn't even think about that. Because, like, they were once able to, but now they can't. I'm so sleepy. We just played a horror game. Ah! What kind of horror game did she play? Take care of yourself, Ame. Ame Kawa Akira. Think. You gotta hear the accent before you pass judgment. Oh, the orcs. The British orcs. I don't know. I still kind of like them. I think they're funny boys. I think they're pretty cool. I think they're pretty cool. It was The Bathhouse by Chill's Art. I need to play a horror game. I need to play another horror game. We played so many horror games. Well, no. The last horror game that I played was Amnesia. Okay, I played Amnesia: The Dark Descent for the first time. Okay? I got so mad. I don't know why. I got, like, so annoyed and so mad playing Amnesia. Like, I don't know. I don't rage. I don't rage a lot. I'm not a rage gamer. Except for Total Warhammer 3. I'm not a rage gamer, but I was close. I was really close to being super angry. Wanna know why? Because the game told me to put the damn glass jar in the bottom of the thing. Told me to put it on the or the top. I don't know. No, I think it was the bottom, okay? The bottom of the... I didn't kill Agrippa. I saved Agrippa. I was trying to save Agrippa. Anyways. I was trying to save Agrippa and put the damn glass jar at the bottom of the... I don't know what it was called. Something to do with chemistry. I'm not smart. I don't know. And I spent like 5 minutes trying to put the jar at the bottom like it told me to. Guess what I tried after it didn't work after 5 minutes? I moved my cursor up. Click the top. Guess where it put the glass jar? At the bottom. At the bottom. Yeah. So, I think you can see why I am frustrated, or was frustrated. It was like... I don't know. I didn't really, like, rage that much, but the more I think about it, the more annoying it is. Anyways, I gotta sleep. I'm tired. I'm sleepy. I'm a sleepy cowgirl, but I'm really glad that I got to hang out with all of you and watch the Warhammer lore videos and learn about all the factions. Or most of the factions. I don't know if he leaves out like a lot of stuff. He probably does because there's so much lore in Warhammer. But Just to summarize, I hate the elves. I think the elves should die. And I think that succubus lady should kill all of them. And I like the nids, the bugs, the battle ladies, the nuns, and the inquisitors. Those are who I like. Those are the cool ones. I only like the inquisitors because it reminds me of Gyro from Steel Ball Run. That's the only reason why. And also the aristocrats look kind of cool. But anyways, I know there's a lot of new people here. Hi. If you don't know, I'm LULULASSO, Y2K Gyaru Cowgirl. It's nice to meet all of you. All of you Warhammer fans. You've been so nice to me. I'm glad. You've been very informative and nice to me, so thank you. I do have to sleep. Sad. It's okay though, I need sleep. I've not been sleeping, and it's my fault, it's my fault. It's my fault I've not been sleeping, because I've been like just binging stuff, so... You like my cowboy hat? I'm glad. I like my cowboy hat too, it's my favorite part of my outfit. Oh, work. Hey, why are you awake? Shouldn't you be at work? You should be at work, right? Not right now, but shouldn't you be sleeping for work? You should be getting lots of rest. Don't do this to yourself. I need to find someone to raid, though. Let's see, who can I raid? Very nice, very informative, very nerdy, but it's so cool. Who cares if it's nerdy? I was having lots of fun. I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't say I'm a nerd because I'm like not a genius or not that smart, but I don't know. Maybe I'm a dork at heart. On the outside, no. Okay, I'm gonna raid another Gyaru. I'm gonna raid Chibi on YouTube. And then I'm gonna raid someone else on Twitch. Ew, I hear myself. Yucky. I'm gonna raid it. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna raid Is she streaming? I don't know. All I see is Chromu streaming. I like Nino. I'll just raid her. Okay. Thank you all for showing up. I gotta say goodnight to all of you, okay? Good night, Navy. Good night, Sose. Good night, Capball. Good night, Zaysuin. Good night, Gory. Good night, Tim Connor. Good night. Oh my, it's going so fast. Kompochi. Good night, Corporal. Good night, Mela. Good night, Sharky. Good night, Tism. Good night, Cedric. Good night, Pogatoga. Good night, Roy Rider. Good night, Pineapple. Good night, Wivery. Good night, Scuttles. Good night, Red Eye. Good night. Oh, bye, Mark. Oh, hi, Mark. Where is he? Good night. I did not hit her. I did not. Tism Enjoyer. Good night. Floof. Good night. Last Ring TV. Good night. King Elsie Dion. Good night. Earthbound Fan. Good night. Sid. Good night. Vev. Good night. Kruma. Good night. Pixel. Good night. Zoxus. Good night. Valonia. Good night. Thighs will be my device. Good night. Rain. Good night. Your local potatologist. Good night. Top Rice. Good night. Fish Bomber. Good night. Hang Loaded. Good night. Justin It. Good night. Billy, good night. Pixel, good night. Sean, good night. Shin, good night. Bunio, good night. Absent Void, good night. Kai Solana, good night. Sleeper Shark, good night. Alien? Navian, good night. I said good night. Did I say good night to everyone? Did anyone miss her good night? Sully, good night. H-Man, good night. Phantom, good night. Smolder, good night. Oh. Twitch left. I didn't get to kiss. Mwah, mwah, good night.